VR goggles on your face. You told so many people that you're taking them on. Taking on Trump, taking on the right, but it seems kinda hard to find. Yeah, it seems kinda hard to find. Dusty, you got rusty. Why are you playing those video games? Why do you have Trump's in the White House? And why are you playing those video games? Let me try to explain. It's odd when you get mad at what other people make and then most of what you create is some jokes and fucking video games. So you're a troll and a showman. Well then I really don't know.
Alright, enough of that annoying ass song. What's up guys? Dusty Smith here, the CODcast. And joining me live tonight is fucking Destiny, who is my #1 requested guest. So I'm proud to have him on here. And before I start the show, as always, if you guys want to support the show, please go to patreon.com/CODcast. I have a different Patreon for this show than I do for my normal videos. So if you guys like what I do, please fucking support it and I'll keep doing it. And with that said, here's fucking Destiny! Yay! Appreciate you joining me, Destiny. Thanks a lot, man.
Hey, what's up? Thanks for having me.
Man, it's an honor to have you. I've become a big fan. Today alone, I've been watching your videos, binge watching them, and really, really entertaining stuff. And I gotta say, people are gonna be disappointed if they're expecting me to debate you. That ain't gonna fucking happen, dude. You can come here and say anything. I'm not gonna fucking debate you on it.
Thanks, I think. I don't know if that's a compliment or not, but...
No, it's definitely a compliment. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Destiny's channel, but basically what he does is he plays video games, and he plays them fucking well. And why he's playing video games...
Some video game. Whew, watch out, you're going to trigger a lot of people there. Be careful.
What, is it a piece of game? What I say?
Some people... Well, a lot of people in my chat think I suck at video games, so it depends on who you ask.
Okay, well, you look like you're doing well to me. But he's playing these video games and he's killing motherfuckers. And at the same time, he's debating people. And he's debating them full speed. Like, it's amazing to watch. And then he'll, like, shut down the video game and he'll type like 1,000,000 miles an hour. And then he'll pop the damn thing back up. And it takes me 5 minutes just to find my super chat on this shit. So I don't know how the fuck he does it. So it was cool as shit to watch. Clearly you're a genius. Clearly. And I'm not saying this just to suck your dick. Because I can't, like, fuck you. I can't stand sucking people's dick. But... I'm not trying to make you cringe or anything, but...
Sure. Genius is a pretty strong word. I've said some pretty dumb shit in my days, but...
You're good company to me, too, but I've never seen any fucking thing like that. I was watching your debate with No Bullshit, and if you guys haven't seen this fucking debate, it's one of the most hilarious things I've ever seen in my entire life. It's kind of funny. I noticed he's completely different when he's live than he is on his channel. I don't know if you noticed that, but, like, he plays this, like, character from Leave It to Beaver... When he's on his channel, it's like, hey guys, golly gee willikers, we're going to talk about social justice warriors today. Darn it to heck. And then when he was on your show, he was like, I'm a red pill badass motherfucker. And
wait, when do I do this? Wait, what?
No, this was No Bullshit.
Oh, yeah, he's way different. Oh, yeah, holy shit, damn.
A completely different character. And you're like, well, what do you do that's such badass red pill? What do you do that goes against society? And he's like, well, I'm fat.
Oh, man.
Like,
yeah, I still can't believe you answered that way. Yeah.
But the funniest thing he said was when you were asking him to name a homogenous country that has very low conflict, and he named, what, Zimbabwe, or started naming all these African countries.
Yeah, I don't know. That dude is on another level.
But it was hilarious. If you guys haven't seen Destiny's channel, please check it out. It's what is the link to your channel? Is it /Destiny?
Yeah, just Destiny on Twitch.
On Twitch and YouTube as well?
Yeah, Destiny on YouTube, yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, like, what was your inspiration to start your channel?
Oof. I started a long time ago, about 10 years ago. Streaming wasn't really a thing yet, and I basically had a friend suggest that I'd get into it because a lot of people like to watch people, or some people back then were streaming, and some people like to watch people play games, and I seem to be able to make people laugh when I do it, so.
You didn't have anybody that you watched that were like, I can do that. If that guy can do it, I can do it.
Not back then. There weren't really many people that did it, so no, I didn't. I'd never seen anyone else stream before, or even know it was like that possible. Yeah, the technology and everything was still really new.
You've been doing this for 10 years? How old are you?
30 years old.
Oh, 30. Okay, you've been doing this since you were 20. But say you look young. You don't look too old. I've been doing this for 10 years too, but I'm an old fuck, so it makes sense.
Thanks. How old are you?
44. I'm a
Okay.
boomer. Officially, I'm
That's
actually
okay.
Gen X, but I'm a boomer. According on the internet, you're either a boomer or you're a millennial. There's only like 2 different generations, unfortunately. So I'm a boomer.
Sure.
Just gotta fucking own it. But I noticed like you have like mad confidence. That's one of the things. Like you kind of have to have that, I guess, because you'll go debate anybody. I noticed. Like you don't duck anybody. And so I was like, how did you build that confidence? Were you always like that, or did you just have like a lot of success with debating, and you kind of built up that confidence over time?
I've always kind of been a person that's been on my own since like pretty early on in my life. So I think I just have always kind of been self-reliant. So I don't usually look outwards for people to make me feel better about myself. It just seems to come in from inside like pretty easily. I guess I'm just lucky in the way that I kind of grew up. And then in terms of what I do online, I mean, it's not hard to be confident when you debate people who are like Sargon of Akkad. Like it's pretty easy to feel like you're in the right most of the time. And then I feel pretty confident because I like to feel like I have the correct position on every issue. And if I don't, then I mean, if I lose a debate, then I'll change my mind or I'll change my position or I'll do more research. So it's either an opportunity to stomp someone or an opportunity to learn something for myself.
Have you ever felt like you lost a debate?
Oh yeah, there have been a couple people that I've definitely been like out of my league for.
Like who? What did they say that stumped you?
Ryan Dawson's information on the Middle East was far more in depth than what I'd known at the time, although we weren't supposed to be debating the Middle East. But yeah, that's somebody that caused me to go back and do a lot of learning about stuff going on in the Middle East. Ryan Dawson, I'm sure there's at least a couple other people, but it's really hard. Most people are real stupid. If I'm debating conservatives, it's usually pretty easy because generally to be a conservative, you have to be pretty dumb. So
Yeah. Do you consider yourself part of LeftTube? Because I see you kind of get jumped in with these certain group of people like Contra and Sean and H Bomber guy and you seem to be this almost like this group, like this clique that everybody always mentions together. Do you kind of see yourself like that, or do you?
I'm kind of on the outside of a lot of that. I don't necessarily fall in line with a lot of their beliefs. So, for instance, like I like platforming people that are extremists. I like debating anybody and everybody. I'm very confrontational, I guess edgy or whatever. And then I aim for audiences that I think that these people kind of miss because they're a little bit more, I don't want to say like elitist sounding with the way they do their kind of rhetoric. I think that I aim for the middle a little bit better than they do.
Well, I can understand why you do that. See, I have a problem. Like, I don't debate white supremacists, but the reason I don't do it is because I'm not confident enough in my ability to not let everything slip by or some things slip by. You have to be very careful when you debate these kind of people because it's easy for them to slip past the goalie, you know?
Yeah, there are a couple of people that I won't platform. I don't do history revisionism. So, for instance, like all the Nazis that try to argue that, like, well, the Holocaust didn't happen as much. Like, I don't do that shit. I don't want to waste the time digging into the absurd amounts of historical knowledge I need to refute these types of stupid claims. And then race realists, I tend to stay away from as well because holy fuck, I spent a month where I was going to start digging into the biology of that, but it would take me like I would need like an undergrad in bio to even like really have like a good comprehensive opinion of how the IQ and environment relationship everything works. It's so absurdly fucking complicated. And 99% of the people that engage in that conversation also don't even have anywhere near the prerequisite background to honestly have those conversations. Like, holy fuck, that shit is complicated.
Have you debated JF?
A few times, yeah. I'm very confident in that he's like an incredibly bad faith actor. That guy is way fucking crazy. Holy shit.
Doesn't believe
He
what he
claimed that he
says?
went through all of Sargon of Akkad. So like I initially I was friends with JF actually early on. He's actually one of the people that kind of like poked me more into the learning about philosophy direction. Because in the beginning he definitely knew way more than me about everything related to philosophy. So he really encouraged my growth there. But later on, I started to realize he was acting in bad faith when we started to talk about other online content creators that he seemed very strange in defending. So like he defended like Stefan Molyneux's views on things and Sargon of Akkad's views on things. And I started to wonder like, well, hold on, it seems like you're stretching really hard to defend some of these. And I remember like at the height of one of our conflicts, like I was claiming that I wasn't sure if Sargon of Akkad could even read. I didn't know because of how horribly he misrepresents or misunderstands his sources. And then JF spent like 2 days. And in those 2 days, he said he went through every single Sargon of Akkad tweet and video, and he found that he made 0 incorrect claims. And I was like, dude, really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That sounds
Someone
like...
in your chat just said, in regards to debates I've lost, if red elephants got me to admit race realism, that is absolutely not true. But sorry, go ahead.
What did he have to say that convinced you of race realism?
Well, no, nothing. That absolutely didn't happen. There were times like he basically asked me like, why do you think the populations in Chicago commit more crime than the violence or are more violent than people in Idaho or Vermont? And I said it's possible that the populations in those cities predispose them towards committing more crime. But that can mean a lot of things. There's a lot of factors. There's socioeconomic factors. There's the fact that living in large cities or metropolitan areas, higher density areas make you more likely to commit crime than living in rural areas. You know, there's a ton of the divide between wealthy and poor. Like there's a ton of things that can predispose you towards committing crime. But for some reason, Vincent seems to think that I meant that was race. Like that's the only thing that could predispose, which is kind of like indicative of his underlying thoughts. But
Yeah, lead exposure.
Yeah,
that's another one that I guess that's
Yeah, sure,
kind of
yeah,
outdated, but used to be a big one back in the 80s.
Yeah.
Who was the most annoying guest you ever had?
If as long as I'm prepared, nobody is truly annoying. Like Dick Masterson is kind of annoying, but he's annoying in the way that like if I sit and I let him talk, he kind of like makes a fool of himself. I mean, they're all really annoying in their own ways. Coach Red Pill came in on one call one time and he tried to like psychoanalyze me, which was really cringy. I don't know if he was like hardcore projecting, but yeah, throwing around a bunch of words that he didn't really understand and like trying to like understand me and everything. I don't know. It was real dumb. Nick Fuentes is like a horrible, like bad faith debater, full of himself, like very stupid. Naked Ape was actually the only debate I had to cancel. Like 10 minutes into it, we were like so far past you. I was like, dude, I can't.
Fuck this guy.
Yeah, he got so ass-pain, he made a hit video on me afterwards. It got pretty popular. So
yeah, he's talked about me before. So you're in good company. I watched your video. You were talking about hormone blockers for 10-year-olds. You were debating a guy on that. And I actually was on Drunken Peasants before. They mentioned this before, and I was kind of against it at the time. But you made a really good argument for it. I wonder if you could like share that argument with my viewers.
Yeah, so basically, like, so a lot of people. So the reason why I like exploring philosophy is because I like to ground out my positions, like in pretty firm, like ethical areas, so that I can figure out, like, well, what should my policy position be? Because policy comes way after ethics and way after figuring out like your kind of like personal goals and desires. So for me, like, anytime I argue a position, what I'm generally looking for is what accomplishes the most amount of good for the most amount of people. That's generally what I'm looking for, right? Kind of this utilitarian, consequentialist shit. And when I look at something like hormone blockers, what I'm generally looking for is, okay, well, what does the research say that produces the best outcomes for the most amount of people? And it seems like giving children the ability to delay puberty when they're children, if there's a high probability that they might be trans people, seems to produce good outcomes. Not going through puberty as the sex you don't identify as, if you're of a different gender than what your sex is, seems to be pretty positive. People twist this into saying like 8-year-olds are given puberty blockers because they wore a dress once or whatever, but it doesn't seem to be the case. So, I mean, yeah, I usually just follow the empirical data there, and then I have to fight with conservatives that want to argue about their feelings all day, and it's kind of difficult.
They were trying to pigeonhole you and saying, well, these kids are just doing what their parents want them to do, you know, if they...
Yeah, which would be a good point if they had any data to support that, but they never do. It's always like one article from like the fucking Daily whatever. It's always like one rant. Well, look at this one article. It's like, I don't care about the one article. Like, I just go by, what are the meta-analyses say? Like, what are the articles that are actually published in these journals say? Like, I don't care about your one fucking story that you saw posted on some dumb fuck like Daily Wire or Breitbart shit, you know?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. So, your favorite games right now, what are you playing? What do you recommend?
I play a horrible fucking game called League of Legends that nobody should play, and then I play Apex Legends, which is decently fun.
I'm still playing Borderlands 2, waiting for the third one to come out. I tried to get into online gaming, but like I used to play professionally. I used to play like Tribes professionally and stuff like that, way back in the fucking day. But now I'm so old, I suck at it, so I can't stand getting killed anymore. My ego won't allow it, so I have to play single player games. So I don't get fucking embarrassed by these kids that just come and nuke me every 5 seconds.
Nice.
You seem to be pretty good at it, though. You can do multiple
yeah, I mean,
things.
I play a lot and everything, so I haven't gotten like horrible yet, but yeah.
So, what is the most common logical fallacy you come across on your show, you think?
Logical fallacy?
That's my thing, logic. I don't know if you ever seen my shit, but that's my catchphrase.
I mean, there's a fucking million of them.
Straw man,
I would say
probably.
that, like, sure. I mean, straw men are about, most things just aren't. Most things are just like not actually like logically consistent. Like a basic like format, like premise, conclusion. A lot of stuff just actually doesn't logically follow. It's like non sequitur. So like, here's an example, right? So for James, when I argued with him about gun control, one of the broad meta analyses that I had researched said that in states where right to carry laws were expanded, the rate of violent crime went up 13 to 15%. That seemed to be something that was true. And what he told me was, well, look at these states that have look at these states that are largely white or homogenous and have a lot of right to carry laws. These states have low violence. But the thing is that point doesn't refute mine. Like, it's possible they have low violence, but it got worse after right to carry laws were expanded. His chart didn't show whether or not right to carry laws increased or decreased crime. They just show that right now the crime was low. So that didn't really respond to the point that I had at all. And he still to this day thinks that he was making a good point, even though his chart didn't actually, like, what he was saying didn't logically follow. Or like in other examples, he said that I was arguing that the self-defense gun use is a myth. It's not. It just doesn't seem to work. Guns used in self-defense just don't seem very effective, according to, again, the meta-analysis I read. And he cited me like a 2013 CDC study that said, well, they were used 300,000 times. It's like, okay, or 3 million times or something. It's like, okay, but were they used successfully? Like, that's what we're asking. It's like, well, look, you can see they're being used. Like, okay, but is it actually successful compared to like using other weapons? Like, that's the question. Like, a lot of conservatives just can't actually put together like logical things like in their head. Like, if all bricks are red and this is a brick, what is the conclusion? They'll be like, well, bricks are heavy. It's like, what the fuck, dude? Like, it's not. Like, I run into like a lot of that shit, and it's like really irritating sometimes.
So are you completely against guns, or do you think having like a handgun is okay for self-defense?
I mean, it doesn't. It seems to not work. I personally, I like guns. I really wanted to build an AR-15, but I moved to the fucking commie state of California, where all of the guns here suck shit. I couldn't bring my Glock with me, and I left my Mosin as well. I mean, personally, I like guns, but I mean, like, if it seems like a lot of people are killing themselves with guns, or if kids kill themselves with guns, or we kill ourselves with guns, it's probably time to figure out how to get guns out of the hands of people that are killing a lot of fucking people with them. Or if that doesn't work, then curbing back the amount of guns we have available in the U.S. altogether. I don't know if like my desire to kind of like play with guns at the range or whatever supersedes the broader safety of people in the United States.
I used to have an AK-47 for protection. It's like, I did not need that at all. And then it was like, why does anybody need an AR-15 like a regular citizen? It doesn't seem like something you really need for protection, in my opinion. And it
kind of
does more harm than good. It seems like to me, although I'm open-minded about the issue. But my handgun, I love.
You have to be really careful. Don't ever debate rifles when you're talking about gun control, because rifles account for like so little violence in the U.S. It's mainly handguns.
Well, that's true. I guess that's a good point.
Sorry, I like to bully people in chat sometimes. If I ever do this too much, let me know. So someone in your chat just said, I would rather be shot than stabbed. That's really cool that you feel that way, but that argument is so stupid on so many levels. When we send military overseas, we don't send them over there with knives. I don't know why people that defend guns do this. They do this really dumb shit. We're like, oh, well, knives are way more dangerous than guns. Like, really? Why the fuck is why is the M4 like the standard issue rifle in the US? Why don't we just give all of our soldiers giant fucking machetes if they're so fucking dangerous? Like, that's so dumb, right? The whole point of a gun is power projection. I can kill somebody at range that I wouldn't otherwise normally be able to kill, and I can kill a lot of people without getting tired. That's the point of a gun. You can't do that with a knife. Right? Sorry.
I made this stupid argument too. I said one time that I'd rather be stabbed than raped. And I think I said it on Drunken Peasants, and TJ was like, no, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. You'd much rather be raped than stabbed.
I mean, it depends on where they stab you, but
I know,
I mean,
that's what I said.
You can go anywhere with that, yeah.
That's exactly what I said. I guess they stabbed me in the ass. That's not great.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
You guys watching, if you hadn't done the super chat, if you ask me a super chat question, I'll definitely ask it to Destiny. So that's the best way to get your question through. Make sure you support us. All the money goes to my animal charity, the Human Society of Mississippi Animal Sanctuary. So be sure to support the channel. Next question. You can feel free to take over the chat too. If you see anything that you want to comment on, you can just jump right in there and do it. You're not going to bother me.
Sure thing.
So I was going to ask you kind of this off camera, but how many words a second do you type? Like, you type faster than anybody I've ever seen in my life.
I mean, taking like really, really hard tests, I mean, I can be as low as like 90 or 95. And then like taking like some of the tests online, like some of those type racer tests, I can get up to like 195 or 200. It really depends on the test. Like some of them are really easy. Some of them are a lot more difficult.
Somebody wanted me to ask you, they said it would be controversial to ask you this, your thoughts on domestic violence. I don't know why that'd be controversial.
That's a whole other case or whatever, but I got really triggered because there was a domestic violence thing that came up on Twitch where a woman was abusing a man. But usually when women are abusing men, people kind of laugh it off. And the man actually hit back on the woman on this. So a lot of people thought that the man was clearly in the wrong. And my position was that he probably shouldn't have hit her, but the woman instigated and the man responded. And I thought if the roles were reversed, I didn't think anybody would be upset at the person responding to violence. But typically, if men are abused and they respond to the violence with physical violence, men are usually demonized. And I think it's a pretty big double standard in our society.
Oh, yeah, I agree. One time this big woman beat the shit out of me. Like, we're in a parking lot. She walked up and started punching me in the face. I was like only 16 at the time, but I wish I could go back in time and whoop her ass. Because, I mean, if you're like going to beat somebody, physically assault them, then you should be able to protect yourself and respond in kind. But I was like, no, I can't hit a woman. And, like, she hit me hard. Like, she busted my nose up, my mouth up. And, of course, you know, because I'm a man, I felt like I couldn't do anything, which is kind of bullshit, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But, and I also saw that you said you failed out of college, which I found hard to believe, but...
well, I'm dramatic, but like basically I was missing a lot of class because I was working so much, and I prioritized work over school. I was working overnights as well, so. So
you do YouTube and Twitch for full time now?
Yeah, no, I have since like I was 21, I think. Yeah.
Oh shit, that's pretty cool. Well, you're good at it. I can definitely see why people support you on that. You have some of the best debates I've ever seen on there. Let's pull up your channel here. Talk about what we see here. There we go. Oh yeah, you went and saw Us. I've been wanting to see that. How was it?
If you haven't seen it, I don't want to spoil it.
Well, I just want to know how it was. You don't have to spoil it for me.
I don't want to prime you. What if I say it was really bad and then you go and think it's gonna be bad and then you think it's bad? Like,
Okay, I understand. Even that's a spoiler, I guess. I assume it's good. I mean, Jordan Peele, he's done some really good work. I think he's pretty much proven himself to be a genius, so maybe I'm throwing that word around too much. But I'm guessing from you that you hate it. That's what I'm guessing now. That's what
I
you're
don't
making me
want to
think.
tell you.
You hate that
Listen,
movie.
if we
Don't
did
go
this
see
and if
Us, according to Destiny. That's what I'm hearing
Oh
from this.
man, because I hate black people. I don't want black producers or directors. And you got it.
You
Yeah,
heard
I'm
it.
the real racist. There you go.
Let's quote him out of context, folks. Destiny hates black people.
Yep, there you go.
Speaking of black people, Jesse Lee Peterson. I saw some of your debate with him. Now, do you think that guy's a troll, or do you think he actually believes what he's saying?
I think he had a stroke at some point in his life, and then he got into politics shortly after.
He's really entertaining, as a character. But obviously, everything he says is stupid. But it's funny to watch him. I think a lot of people that watch him don't actually agree with him. They just watch him for entertainment purposes. So I think
You say that, but I'm not entirely sure.
You think that, like, the black people that watch him believe that he really thinks civil rights was bad for black people? I mean, or do you think he really thinks that?
There are black people, like, I've debated unironic, what's his name? Oh my God, ABL, Anthony Bryan Logan. Like, that's a guy who believes that, like, redlining and all of that, that was just, like, white people didn't want to loan to people bad credit. He didn't think there was a racial aspect at all to that. Or, like, he was arguing that, like, well, in some places, like, the KKK brought Christmas presents to black people, like, they weren't all bad. Like, I mean, like, I don't know, man. There are people that unironically believe this stuff, like.
Yeah, that's crazy as shit. I mean, don't they know about, like, the Homestead Act and, Black Wall Street, which I'm sure you're familiar with, where they literally fucking firebombed the most affluent black neighborhood in the country? I mean, shit like that. How can you not see that and see how that had detrimental effects on black folks that still carry over today? It seems
there's
impossible.
a million questions we can ask about the inner workings of the conservative brain, but I don't think we have the necessary time here to explore it all. I don't know why. I mean, there's like a lot of explanations why, like, people, there's a million different, like, logical fallacies that you fall into. There's a million different psychological traps you fall into. There's motivations for believing certain things because of monetary reasons or social reasons, right? Like, there's a million different angles to hit that from.
So your main focus seems to be battling shitlords and spreading liberal message. I assume you're what are you a socialist or are you a social democrat? Social
very
democrat?
Much no. Or yes, social democrat, but I'm very much a capitalist, an ardent supporter of capitalism, big capitalist shill, neoliberal, or whatever the fuck people call me. But yeah, I think SOCDEM probably accurately describes what I do. I really don't have much of an interest in spreading a political message, though. What I got into this doing, though, was I got into it because I saw so many people making so many dumb fucking arguments, and I just thought, like, wow, like, a lot of these discussions are really fucking stupid. Like, maybe we can have it a little bit better. And that was kind of like my goal in the beginning, although it turned into me, I guess, debating a bunch of, like, reactionary dipshits, because it seems like the Gamer Bro, Kotaku in Action, anti-SJW, anti-feminism, like, army is, like, the most prominent on the internet and usually platform the dumbest fucking arguments all the way up to, like, the internationally recognized level. So including people like Ben Shapiro or Jordan Peterson make the dumbest fucking arguments.
Now, speaking of Jordan Peterson, I would love to see you debate him. I think that would be epic. I wonder if we can make that happen. I guess we can't.
Maybe someday. He's quite a bit outside of my orbit, I think. Still quite a bit out of my reach, yeah.
I don't really see why, I think you're definitely on his level intellectually. I think you're above him intellectually.
Well,
So
I mean,
it's
there
just
are plenty of people above me intellectually. So I just mean in terms of popularity, right? Jordan Peterson has nothing to gain and everything to lose by talking with somebody like me. Like, if he beats me to debate, I'm on the international stage. Nobody knows me outside of, like, YouTube and Twitch and stuff, or very, very few people do. Whereas Jordan Peterson is an internationally recognized name that has way more to gain from associating with more popular people.
Who do you think's a better debater than you, though?
Me versus Jordan Peterson?
Yeah,
I mean, I would like to think I don't know if I would like to think I could win a debate against most people, because I would like to think I have the correct position on most things. So, I mean, I would like to think that in a debate with Jordan Peterson, I win, but I guess I'd have to do it to find out. I feel like he engages in a lot of, like, really bad tricks that I could catch him doing that a lot of people don't seem to. So,
yeah, I watched your debate where you're talking to some dude about him, and you explain basically what he does is he explains how things are, but he doesn't, like, offer solutions because he doesn't want to be pigeonholed and having to defend any position. So he always has an out, but it's pretty clear what he says is guiding people to believe. He's kind of
without actually, like, getting them 100% of the way. He gets them 98% of the way there, and when you try to nail him on the last 2%, he goes, "Oh, well, I didn't say that." And it's like, okay.
Plausible deniability. I'm just saying we should think about this. I'm not saying we should do it, but it's really easy to see through.
Mm-hmm.
I saw you're on the Drunken Peasants the other day. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that show anymore. I might do it anymore, but what do you think about those guys? Are they growing as people, do you think, or do you think it's still kind of like a shitlord community there?
I don't really follow them as much. TJ was the Amazing Atheist, right? He's not on it anymore.
No, he's not on more.
He seemed like he was actually left leaning, like, not like people like Sargon are like, "Oh, I'm a liberal," but they're not at all. think TJ was, but honestly, I just don't follow that community enough to really know. But I mean, that's probably a good thing that they're not like super on my radar. So I don't know if they engage in like really fucked up shit. If they do, I just haven't noticed it.
It's mainly their fans, I think, that I have a problem with. They attract a lot of the shitlord fans, and I just can't, I can't stand those people because they're just the lowest of the low, and they're just embarrassing to have any association with. So, but I guess you didn't have a bad experience on there because you went back. You've been on there a couple of times, I think, haven't you?
I mean, yeah, I'll go anywhere where somebody wants to debate. Yeah.
Have you ever seen anything I did that you disagree with? Let's debate it right now.
I don't think so, actually. Most of what I heard of you was pretty good. You usually mentioned, or in similar circles, as people that I agree with, so I haven't seen you do anything too dumb, so good job.
I assume you're an atheist?
I'd probably more cautiously call myself an agnostic.
You don't think agnosticism and atheism are two different things? You could be agnostic atheist. That's what I consider myself.
I don't think I could make a claim regarding the existence of a god. I would argue that probably exists outside of the boundary of what human knowledge is capable of containing. So I wouldn't be able. So there could be a god that exists, but I wouldn't be able to have information about his existence. So I would say I'm an agnostic in that regard.
I would call myself an agnostic atheist because I think they answer two different questions, and I know I can't know, but I don't have any belief, and if you don't have any belief, I think that technically makes you an atheist. So,
sure. If it does, then yeah, I mean, I would be an atheist, I guess. Yeah.
That's kind of a semantic point, but a lot of people like to debate that. The Non Sequitur show hates when you say you're agnostic atheist because they believe that unless you directly say that you don't believe in a god, you're not actually an atheist. But I have a problem with that definition.
People play with that claim a little bit. Like I used to introduce myself as an atheist, and somebody go, "Well, how do you know God doesn't exist?" Like, well, I don't know that. I just don't believe in him. So, well, an atheist makes the claim that God doesn't exist. Like, okay, well, in that case, I guess I'm an agnostic. So I just say agnostic, so I don't get trapped into trying to defend the notion that I can say for like a matter of fact that a god doesn't exist, because I don't think I could ever make that claim. Right?
That's true. I kind of fall in line where I think simulation theory, I don't know if you're familiar with that. I think that's, I don't say likely, but probable. I think, or possible, very possible. And so if simulation theory is true, then I guess whoever the coder would be considered a god of some sort. Are you familiar with that theory at all?
Yeah, I think this becomes more likely if we're ever able to accurately simulate the universe. Then it becomes more likely that we're a simulation, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know how I feel about that right now. Whatever, yeah.
It seems likely, though, it doesn't even have to be our civilization that does it. It could be an alien civilization that does it in simulating these worlds. And it seems, I don't know, probable to me that it definitely could be done. As far as our technology has gone so far, an alien technology could be so far advanced from us that it just seems like it's, like I said, it's something I believe in. But it's something I find to be, an interesting theory anyway.
It's possible, but it could also easily be imaginable that we're actually at the bounds of understanding what there is to know about the universe, and there's not that much to know, right? That once we solve, say, like quantum gravity, that we're pretty much have figured out like most of the workings of the universe out, and there's just not much to know. And like things like faster than light travel, that will never be possible. We're pretty much stuck in this part of the universe until we run out of resources. Probably not going to expand to other planets, and that our civilization will just kind of die out like others. I mean, that's entirely possible as well,
That's depressing as fuck.
It is depressing as fuck, but I mean, it's both depressing and inspiring. In some ways, people argue against the idea that we can leave this planet because people feel like that people use that as an argument to be irresponsible of the current planet, right? Like, well, fuck this planet, we'll move to Mars anyway. In some ways, if you make the argument, well, actually, this is probably the only planet we'll have. We're probably never going to travel faster than the speed of light. Like, we probably have a good understanding, so we need to take care of what we have now because this is probably all we've got. I mean, yeah, I can see both ends of it.
I kind of want the Star Trek universe, though. I want to buzz around and check out other planets and cultures and stuff. I would love for that to be possible. I think eventually our society will evolve in more of a Star Trek, where we'll all be like one world government and we'll not have to work in jobs we don't want to work anymore. We can do what we want to do and not be bound by money. Mm-hmm. Which brings me into my next question. What do you think about the Yang Gang?
Fuck, I've looked into it a little bit. I don't know what to think of it right now. Like, apparently a lot of alt-writers and shit are starting to
it's really strange. You're exactly right.
Yeah, I just don't follow it. I haven't looked into candidates enough. I was supposed to do a stream where we looked into all of the presidential candidates, and I haven't gotten around to doing it yet. So I really don't have much information on him.
Slacker.
And I know he pushes the UBI thing and automation and whatnot a ton, but
yeah, he was kind of, people are disagreeing with me, but he had a couple of tweets that looked like he was pushing the white genocide theory to me. And
yeah, I'm trying to be charitable. I don't think that he necessarily was hip to the internet lingo beforehand. I know what you're saying though. You're talking about whites become a minority or some shit, and we need to help. Man, I don't know. I'd have to go back and I'd have to go back and really think about it. I don't think he was pushing the white nationalist stuff, but man, I don't know. I mean,
I don't really think he was doing it on purpose per se, but I think that's what attracted a lot of the shitlords that follow him now. A lot of the 4chan crowd that have jumped off Donald Trump's nuts and are jumped on his nuts. And I actually think it's a good thing. I think it's a positive step. I think he's much better to support than Donald Trump is. So if we get
Yeah, of course.
if we get these shitheads to support him instead of Trump, it's a step in the right direction. But still, it kind of makes me cautious about him because he has so many problematic followers now.
Yeah, sure, yeah. Yeah, I'm following Richard Spencer on Twitter, and I noticed that he retweets and likes like almost everything that Andrew Yang does, yeah.
That's a bad sign. Andrew Yang needs to come out immediately and say, no, fuck Richard Spencer. Don't want nothing to do with him. Disavow. But he hasn't done that yet, so.
Yeah, I don't know.
Super chats. Somebody, let me read these real quick. Big Black Corvette says, you are my inspiration for a non-car channel. Keep up the good work. I don't know if he's talking to me or you, but I'll assume he's talking to me. Yeah. Your favorite band sucks says, oh, frick, you Tim, am I right? We love animals. Who is the worst band in the history of music? I got to go with Nickelback. I guess that's the safe answer. Alan Levine's band, what are they called? They're Super Bowl. They're terrible. I can't even think of their fucking name anymore. Theophobe says, Destiny, have you tried Black Desert on the Xbox?
Nope.
I have. Yes, I have this game. I tried it for about 10 minutes and thinking about playing it again, but I haven't had time yet. I've been busy working on this channel. John Nash says nothing, but he gave me $1, so thank you. Asho says, would be interesting to hear what both of you guys think about Sam Cedar and Michael Brooks from the Majority Report. I'll let you answer this one if you want to.
I haven't watched too much of their stuff, but I think I really like Sam Cedar and Michael Brooks from what I've seen. I'm trying to get Michael Brooks or Sam Cedar to join me in a debate against Sargon of Akkad and Stefan Molyneux soon. That's like something that I'm really hoping for.
Dave Rubin. Dave Rubin has been ducking Cedar forever. He's scared to death of Cedar, which...
Dave Rubin will never engage in a real debate against anybody. That guy, not only is that guy stupid, I think he has the self-awareness to know how totally fucking stupid he is. He's way out of his depth. I'm surprised he doesn't wake up every single day and like have like a shiver go down his spine with how completely out of his depth he is with all of these conversations.
Imposter syndrome. You can just see it on him.
Well, no. Imposter syndrome implies that you are qualified and you don't think you are. He's like legitimately fucking stupid. He's like a high school kid that found himself on like an international platform with an audience of millions and is like waiting every day for somebody to realize how fucking dumb he is, that it's all like fake as fuck.
Okay. Well, I learned I've been using imposter syndrome wrong for years now, so thank you for correcting me.
Oh, sure. Imposter syndrome is the idea. That's when like people that are actually competent, they have this worry where they're like, fuck, like I don't know if I deserve everything I have. I don't know if I'm actually this good. But it's usually for people that are competent and they just have like doubts or like self-esteem issues about it, basically.
I thought it was people that other people thought were competent, but actually no, they're not.
Oh, no, I don't think so.
Wrong, Dusty. Stupid Dusty. Abadong Nergal, I guess, says, Destiny, why did SC2 decline in popularity? I don't know what that is, but I assume you do.
Oh, StarCraft is a game. Basically, Blizzard wasn't responsive enough to their communities, and then other game genres got more popular.
Oh, yeah, StarCraft. I remember that. The Zerg? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Close enough, yeah.
That's
Zerg
back in the day. Old school. Yeah. David Moss says, who would you consider to be a bad faith actor on the right? Do you feel believes what they are saying is true? I guess he's asking, who you think's the worst face actor on the right?
Dave Rubin is definitely up there right now, I think. The PragerU guys are definitely all up there for sure. Charlie Kirk and them. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of people that engage in like really, really bad faith shit. Yeah.
Yeah, the guy that funds PragerU, I don't know if you're familiar with him, but his name is Ferris Wilks, and he's a hate preacher that basically teaches that gay people are the same as pedophiles and people who engage in bestiality. And this is the person that Dave Rubin literally goes and works for and takes money for him. Just, how can you be a bigger fucking shill than that to work for a guy that believes that about you?
Yeah. The Dennis, is it Dennis Prager or whatever? Is that the guy you're talking about?
No, I'm talking about the guy, the billionaire that funds. Dennis Prager runs it, but he's funded by these billionaire brothers, the Wilkes brothers.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, they got their money from fracking. They're fracking billionaires, but he's also a hate preacher. And so,
gotcha.
Yeah,
the Charlie Kirk guy, like the Turning Point USA shit is like real bad too.
Yeah, they're all shameless grifters. They'll take money from anybody. A lot of the N-word in the chat. Thank you. You fucking idiots. Like, really, don't you guys have anything better to do than type the N-word in the chat? I mean, it's so stupid. Like, just these children follow me, mainly because I've been speaking out against PewDiePie. I don't know if you have an opinion about PewDiePie, but I don't really think he's that great of a guy. I don't understand why he has 90 bajillion followers, and I don't know if you've been following the hate he's been receiving lately because of the people he's following on Twitter. Did you see any of that?
Which one are you talking about?
PewDiePie?
PewDiePie? Oh, well, I think he recently unfollowed literally everybody. I think he only follows one person on Twitter.
Yeah, it was basically, I criticized him and a bunch of other people criticized him, and then several of our posts went semi-viral. And so as soon as he saw that our post went semi-viral, he unfollowed everybody. But his stupid fans, they'll still say, no, he didn't do it for that reason. He did it as a big joke. Like, it didn't have anything to do with that.
People do that all the time. Yeah, like just memes, bro. Yeah.
It's like they'll write him off regardless. But apparently he just got passed by T-Series, which everybody believes is a huge deal. They believe it's the end of YouTube as we know it because T-Series has taken over. I don't think it'll have any fucking effect whatsoever. I don't think YouTube gives a shit. I think their algorithm is pretty much set in place, and their algorithm will remain the same regardless of who is in the number one position. So I think people are afraid for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah.
Would you or Destiny ever debate AIU? I gotta answer it first. I'll debate him as long as he comes on as himself. I don't want to debate his little stupid cartoon avatar, but I know he won't do it because he has low self-esteem issues, where he won't appear, on camera himself.
I'd have a conversation with AIU would be, for me, it would be like kind of like a no bullshit one. I don't think a lot of people realize how stupid that person is. So like talking to him for like an hour to listen to him like scream and screech at me would be really funny, I think.
He would just be bragging about how awesome he is the whole time.
Something like that. Yeah, that dude has. I think that's another guy that's on like no bullshit levels. Like I think he actually has like mental problems or whatever. Doesn't realize it.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that when you have narcissism, that's often a sign of low self-esteem. You have to
Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
jack yourself up because you really feel bad about yourself, and that's kind of the vibe I get from that guy. I almost, like, before I knew who he was, a long time ago, I did a podcast with him, and I was going to do I was on his podcast, but we were going to do a podcast together. And man, I'm so glad that didn't come to fruition, because that would have been so embarrassing.
Like you were going to like co-host like a podcast? Not just like,
Yeah, I was going to co-host a podcast. Like, I had no idea anything about him, so it was really fucking stupid. But man, I dodged such a bullet on that one. Fuck.
Yeah, damn.
Destiny got classically destroyed in this debate. Amazing
that's
beta. Yeah. I don't know who he's talking about. Classically destroyed by who?
People say that a lot. Destiny got destroyed in this debate. It's like a meme in my community.
Oh, it's a meme? Okay. I don't know your memes and your backstory. I kind of wonder what you're like as a kid, because you kind of remind me of like Sheldon Cooper, but without autism. That's kind of like, that's a compliment. You seem like you would have been a really interesting kid. I kind of wonder what you were like as a kid. Were you like gifted as a kid?
No, I was pretty bad with school. My life was like one series of lucky missteps into another. So like growing up, I played like a lot of like Japanese RPGs. So like I became like a very quick reader, and I think reading is probably the most important thing you can do in school. So it helped me like get through a lot of school because I was reading so quickly because of all the games I played. And like, yeah, I just got really lucky with all my shit basically.
I can't imagine you're bad in school. It seems like, as quick as you think, it seems like you have a really good ability to recall information and spit it out like instantly, and you talk so fast.
I was one of those guys. Yeah, so I was one of those guys that was like smart enough to like get everything more or less the first time. So like I breezed through like grade school and shit, and then through like most of early high school. But once I started to like really like deck myself out on like AP classes, I think I got through with like a 3.2 GPA, and that was after all of the AP weighting. Like I did pretty poorly in school. Like I hardcore like barely made it by the skin of my teeth in a lot of classes because but like because I had no discipline. My study habits were fucking horrible. Like I bombed a lot of fucking tests and shit. Like I just barely like made it out alive. So
that sounds like me. I got kicked out of every school I've ever been to. I've got kicked out of like 5 schools, and finally I had to quit school. I didn't kind of quit. I got kicked out of a school, and I finally was like, okay, I'm done. And
sure.
so like
I'm sorry, real quick. 3.2 GPA is like after all of the AP weighting. Like my real GPA was probably like 2.6 or 2.5, I don't know what, because like when you take all the AP classes, it weights all of your extra shit up, right? So it would have been in the 2.0 some or the 2 point something if it wasn't for the AP shit. Sorry, go ahead.
Mine was 6.0. I don't even know what the chart is, but I'm just gonna say 6.0.
Okay.
So what do you think about the Captain Marvel controversy? You been following it?
People get real. I thought Captain Marvel was a pretty meh movie. I didn't really like it that much, but not because it has women in it. I don't know. People go crazy about that shit. I don't know.
Women. That's what all the SJW or the anti-SJW say. They're all just cookie cutters of each other, and it's really pathetic how they think that they're so special and have unique ideas, and they're so good at creating memes, but they're all just
pretty predictable. Like lead movie comes out, woman is the lead character. If it's a shit movie, it must be because it's a woman, not just because it's kind of a shitty movie. But okay.
There was this one particular YouTuber, I don't know if you're familiar with him, Geeks and Gamers, who literally did 100 videos on Captain Marvel, like insane levels. But he like gets huge amount of views too, which is crazy.
It's that like seems a little bit scary.
A little bit extreme for sure.
Control F I didn't believe you. Control F Marvel on the channel pulls up 67 results. Holy shit. 82 if I scroll down a little more. Oh my god.
Yep. I counted them all. There's over 100 there. And
that's like
they're pretty much all the same too.
Sad.
It was him just claiming the movie was going to bomb, and then when the movie didn't bomb, he was like, oh my god, it's so bad this movie didn't bomb because now all the SJWs are going to think, hey, we can make a lot of money off these movies that we have SJW messages in, so they're going to add SJW messages to every movie.
Yeah, I'm reading this like Captain Marvel officially disaster. Captain Marvel bots don't understand the box office at all, like blah, blah, blah. But now when I read like the most recent videos, it's like Captain Marvel's success at the box office is a huge problem.
It's hilarious.
Another bad movie will make $1 billion. Damn. People were so mad. People were posting like the same day, like right when the box office was being updated, like, oh, look, it bombed. I told you it was a shit movie. But then like it obviously went on to make like, I don't know if it got to $1 billion. Wasn't it like $600 or $700 million?
Captain Marvel? I think it just passed 900 million actually this weekend.
Fuck me. My bad. Yeah, I'm sorry. No, yes. So it might actually go on to make $1 billion.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to make $1 billion, which, shuts down
and
all
it's
their
not even a good
talking points
movie.
that
It's
they
pretty
had.
mediocre. So damn.
She's so overpowered. I don't know if you, go ahead.
I think she is actually. That's one of my big complaints with the movie. But
That's the reason I like Superman. I think Superman is boring because he's too invulnerable. It's like what's going to happen. He's going to
kind of. I mean,
ass.
I say that a lot. The concept seems boring, but I'm sure the movies must play out differently, right? There must be like something in the movies that he has to struggle with. Otherwise, it can't just be Superman beating everybody every movie, right?
That's true. But every movie's just going to be him and Kryptonite, because that's his only weakness. So that's all they can go to, really.
Well, then, and like, don't they like kill other people or hold people hostage or something? Or
Oh, that's true. I guess his weakness is his love for humanity,
sure,
which is a huge weakness.
yeah.
One thing I was going to talk to you about, I recently became a vegetarian, and I watched one of your streams about why you're not a vegan, and I think this might be the only like small thing I don't know if I disagree with you on. It's possible I don't really understand your points. Let me explain what I think your points are, or how you view morality, for lack of a better word. I think that you think that people are inherently selfish, and so you have a list of desires that you want to satiate, and your morals kind of spring up from the wanting to fulfill those desires and whatever, is best to do that. That's kind of what you go towards. Am I correctly explaining that?
Yeah, more or less, yeah.
And so the reason you don't care about veganism is because you don't really care about animals being hurt?
Yeah, pretty much. I don't think that there will ever be a point in our lives where killing animals is like a detriment to mankind.
See, I feel differently about it because I run an animal sanctuary, and so I'm around, I rescue animals all the time. And so when I go out and buy meat, I can't separate in my mind knowing that I'm actually hurting other animals. And so it brings me mental anguish. And so,
well, yeah, if it does for you, then I would probably be vegetarian if that really bothered you, yeah.
Yeah, so I can't separate the two things in my mind, but I guess you don't have a problem doing that.
I don't. I think most people do, though. I think most people just aren't honest. Like, most people have a really hard time separating out the suffering of animals from the food they eat. That's why they don't eat the animals that they like, right? If you talk to a normal person that eats meat, which is like fucking pigs and cows and friendly animals and shit, and you suggest eating dog to them, they'll like recoil, like viscerally. They're like, that's disgusting. How could you eat dogs and cats? That's horrible. It's like, okay, well, like, is it really that big a difference from eating a cow or a pig? So,
yeah. It's no difference, which is why I don't eat cows and pigs anymore, because, I see that it's exactly the same. I went and petted cows and petted pigs, and they're actually really intelligent animals, and so I just, I feel guilty about it, so I don't do it. But I've gained a ton of weight, though. I thought I was going to lose weight, but it doesn't work like that. You can't, like,
you gain a lot of weight being a vegetarian. Well, I
know.
mean, like,
it's
if you're
calories
doing like
in,
a ton
calories
of
out,
carbs,
though.
you can. If you're like eating a lot of breads and pastas and shit, it's pretty easy. You can start gaining weight.
It's exactly what it is. I was eating a lot of fucking chips and shit.
Yeah.
You debated, what's this, Ian Michaels Chong? Is that his name? Ian Miles Chong?
Ian, yeah. Ugh.
Oh, Ian, yeah. Was this before or after he swatted Andy Worski?
I think it was before.
Before? That's some crazy ass shit. That guy's another guy. I have no idea why people follow that guy. I mean, especially after he literally tried to get a dude killed. Now, I'm not a big fan of Andy Worski, but I don't think you should try to get the dude killed because you have a beef with him. It's insane.
Yeah, Ian has a lot of problems. I was really disappointed because I had a big debate lined up with him, and I was ready to nail him to the cross, like on a ton of things. But he basically walked back every single position he's ever held in our debate, and I got really upset at that.
Yeah, he used to be like a Nazi, didn't he? At first, he was like...
I don't know if I'd say he's a full-on Nazi, but he's pretty dumb and has a lot of like really fucked up beliefs. But
I thought he was like doing pro-Hitler messages. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I thought that's what I read, but... I
don't think he's ever been quite a Nazi. I think he's more just a centrist dipshit.
He has a lot of opinions about America for somebody who's never lived in America, as far as I know. He like interferes.
Wait, really? Is he like Canadian?
No, he lives in Malaysia, I think. One of those.
Oh, what the fuck? Yeah. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so he's like always interfering in our elections and our politics and stuff, but he doesn't really. He has no skin in the game, so it's easy for him to say. He's not the one that has to go without health care. He's not the one that has to watch your family suffer. Like my dad died because he couldn't afford to go get regular checkups. So he doesn't have to deal with that shit. So it's easy for him to fucking mess with our country.
Yeah, interesting. I didn't actually know that.
That's how I feel about Sargon. It's easy for Sargon to be a Trump supporter when, his family's going to be fine with universal health care, but my family's not.
It's not going to be fine post-Brexit, which is what he's supporting, so.
That's true. Yeah. You think they'll re-vote on that?
I don't think so, but a lot of people disagree with me, so we'll see what happens.
I saw they got 5 million signatures so far to try to force the revote.
Something they voted on something big today, but I didn't look and see what the vote was actually on. So
I really feel sorry for the kids, the 16, 17-year-old kids who just missed the cutoff for voting, and so they didn't have any choice in it, and they're the ones that are really going to be affected by it.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel bad for them, but those idiots, they got conned into believing that immigrants were their enemies. They got like people like Sargon and Paul Joseph Watson spread fear, and so they vote against their own best interest. That's what idiots always do.
Yeah.
That's why Trump got elected, in my opinion. I assume you're not a big Trump fan?
No. God, no.
I can't believe he's president. Seems impossible. How the fuck is Trump president? It seems like we live in some kind of bizarro world where...
Yeah, I mean, anti-establishment was like the big meme for that election, and I mean, the Republicans platformed an anti-establishment president, so here we are. Populism is a powerful drug.
That's true. Another thing we might disagree with, I didn't get a chance to watch your video on this, but I saw you made a video on the MAGA hat kids, and I wanted to know what your take on that is.
Honestly, my take is I really don't give a fuck. I mean, they're like, I don't care to crucify like a bunch of dumb, like when I was in high school, I was reading fucking Ayn Rand, and I was talking about how the Iraq war was justified. Like, I don't give a fuck what a 16-year-old does or thinks. Like, did the media overhype it? Probably, in terms of what actually happened. Yeah, probably. Were the kids doing dumb, maybe racist shit? Yeah, probably. But I don't give a fuck what some dumb fucking high school kids are doing. It's such a stupid story.
Yeah,
in my opinion, sorry.
That's the way I felt about it too. I think they try to crucify those kids. They were trying to get them kicked out of colleges and shit.
Fuck that.
Especially the kid that was just standing there. I think the main one that was at fault was the Indian guy, in my opinion. Like, I think the video that came out showed that he was lying about what he said was happening the whole time, and he went up and got in the kids' faces, and he was trying to confront them because he saw them like he saw the people in Charlottesville. The Jews will not replace us. He kind of saw them like that, but they weren't like that. They were just dumb.
Maybe. I mean, I don't think the Indian guy necessarily... I'm sorry, I shouldn't say Indian. He's Native American, right?
Native American.
Yeah, I don't think the Native American guy necessarily did anything wrong. I mean, they were protesting. The kids were protesting. The Native Americans showed up and they were protesting. Like, I mean, as long as nobody was like getting violent or physical. I mean, I don't think they necessarily did anything wrong.
They weren't really protesting, though. They were done with their protest, and they were standing on the stairs waiting for the bus to come pick them up, and they were just doing school cheers at the black Israelites who were yelling slurs at them.
I mean, maybe. But I mean, like the Native American guys, it's their right as Americans to go up and protest if they want to. I mean, it's whatever it is.
He can, but he kind of went and got in the face of kids. They were just standing there, and it seems like that's not how you should act as an adult. As an adult, like if you have a problem, he should have gone and confronted the black Israelites who are actually the ones causing the problems and not gone and got in the kid's face. But he had a camera crew following him, so he was trying to get footage to, for his blog or whatever. And in my opinion, that's what happened. But
maybe, yeah, I guess I don't know as deeply into that about that, but yeah.
I made a video about it, so I'm all passionate about it. I've been debating the Gotcha Boys. I don't know if you know, we have a new podcast, me and Vadim Newquist and Tim Blake. I don't know if you know those guys.
That's the guy that does the Creationist cut.
Yeah, the Creationist guy, yeah. They really want to have you on the show sometime, too. They're big fans of yours. Vadim especially. He's always talking about how smart you are. So
yeah, he seemed like a cool guy. We've been in group calls before and shit.
Been sucking your dick. I hate that. I hate to suck anybody's dick, really, to be honest with you.
Sure,
but,
it's okay.
But I was really impressed with what I saw. Like, I've seen some of your videos before, but I never really did a deep dive into your stuff until today. And I was mainly impressed by how well you multitask. How the fuck you can debate somebody and talk a million miles an hour and also play games and go into your chat.
Well, mostly if I'm playing a game, it's like something I'm not really paying attention to in the background. It's usually something really simple. And then my debates seem... Yeah, kind of, yeah. And then, like, for a lot of the debates with conservatives, like, I ran down, like, they're kind of like NPCs. Like, we usually just run down the same dialogue tree as we have in the past, and it's, like, pretty simple. So not a lot of the debates actually require, like, a lot of active engagement, right? Like, as soon as somebody steps into, like, a trap, like, oh, well, I don't think the North Carolina voter ID laws, I don't think those are racist at all. Like, the next, like, 5 minutes of that conversation can only go one way, and I don't have to think much about it, you know?
It seems like you have to think a lot, though, because, I mean, you have to have really great recall to do that. You have a lot of...
Well, I mean, like, you say great recall, but, like, for you to walk across the room requires the coordination of, like, fucking 50-plus muscles or whatever. Like, it's actually a really complicated movement to walk, but you do it without even thinking about it, right? I've ran through these arguments, like, fucking 100-plus times on stream at this point, so, like, I can almost do it in my sleep. Not because I'm, like, ultra smart or, like, a super genius or whatever, but just because I've done it so many times. Like, I just don't have to think that much about it, you know?
I guess that's
much the same that, like, you could probably tell me, like, a lot about, like, your car or a lot about your daily life or some hobby that you have. I'm sure you could, like, go really deep into it without even thinking much about it, like, yeah.
Well, that's true. I guess I didn't take into account you've been doing this for 10 years. I didn't realize you've been around that long. You're old school.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Like me, except a younger version. Let's see. Ian was outed
yeah.
as a Nazi during Gamergate. Yeah, that's what I thought happened.
I mean, I'm really uncomfortable. People throw in the Nazi word a fuck ton. I don't think Ian was ever actually a Nazi. I think there were like really old logs of him from like 2009 or 2010 of him saying some Nazi shit like in an ICQ room. But I don't think like publicly he's ever like been that way. And I don't know if he still believes that stuff. But yeah, I don't know. There's so much shitty stuff about like Ian that you can like rag on him for without going to the whatever logs from 10 years ago. So I don't even care to bring that up.
I agree. I don't really think he was actual Nazi. I just meant that he was saying Nazi shit, mostly just to be edgy, because that's what he is. He's just an edgelord that says whatever he has to. And I also agree you don't have to go back 10 years for all that shit. I was just saying that that's what I read.
Sure, yeah.
Cut Cults are cringy says, Sargon of Akkad is epic debate him, you fucking S-Jew. You did debate him a couple times, didn't you, Sargon?
Yeah, I think 3 times now.
Didn't seem like it would be very much of a challenge for you.
I mean, it's a challenge not to lose my fucking mind.
I saw him get absolutely destroyed by Christy Winters. I don't know if you're familiar with her, Dr. Christy Winters.
Oh, yeah, I watched some of that, yeah.
And
then he had a conversation with Michael Brooks. It was really embarrassing, too, yeah. And even the UKIP guy, the guy that, one of the representatives or whatever from his party, like, I don't know, dude.
I heard he's running for office. They say they're going to put him on the ballot or something.
I think was it an MEP, a member of European Parliament, or MP, a member of Parliament? I don't remember. It was one of those two things.
Surely nobody will vote for that. I mean, maybe they will. He's real popular on YouTube, so who knows? But I would hope nobody would vote for that guy.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know.
Andrew Bourne says, keep shitting on anti-SJWs, guys. I'm generally getting tired of them. Yeah, they're just exactly the same as the SJWs that they pretend to battle. And, of course, I don't even like the word SJW as an insult, or I don't even use that really. I think that's just a pejorative to demonize and use to dismiss the arguments of anybody you disagree with. So... But
yeah, who was I arguing with? Was it Sargon of Akkad that said this? I think he said, I asked him, because he mentioned like the SJWs believe the same, and I was like, well, what is an SJW? And he's like, I think he eventually just said like an SJW is whoever disagrees with me or something, because he started to give me a definition. I'm like, wouldn't Martin Luther King fit this? And he's like, well, no, because I agree with Martin Luther King. I'm like, wait, so is an SJW somebody who disagrees? And he's like, yeah, pretty much. Like, okay, like
at least he's being honest. I just use that to demonize everybody I disagree with, and he's done a great job at it.
Yeah,
it's working. It's working for him. He's made a ton of money doing that shit.
Yeah, he has.
No more super chats. All right, go back to your channel. Any interesting questions in your chat while I'm looking this up?
No, actually, sorry, Twitch is actually down right now. So if you refresh my stream, it's not going to work. So you might pull over some viewers from people that are coming from Twitch.
Usually they ask me more questions in super chat than this. Let's see. Mine's not pulling up either. What is wrong with the fucking technology today? All right, here we go. Yeah, we talk about UBI. What do you think about UBI? You think that's a good idea? I think it's inevitable.
Yeah, I mean, I have to, that's like post-scarcity society shit. I have to do more research into it. I just don't know how UBI impacts people. Obviously the biggest concern is whether or not it destroys the incentive to work. And if it does, that would obviously be bad. But I'm sure there's a lot of ways you could structure UBI so that doesn't happen. So yeah, I don't know. I have to do more research into it to see, like, means tested shit to see what happens.
It seems like it would free people up to do whatever they want. I think people would still work, but they might just do, more of the type of work that they like. But
maybe, I don't know.
It would have to be tested, definitely. But it seems like, when automation takes 80% of the jobs, we're going to have to do something, or else how are we going to buy shit?
Yeah, once the automated car shit gets online for real and we start seeing, like, truckers get replaced a lot, then, then we'll really see what happens.
Drones will be flying our shit to us, and they'll be fulfilling all the orders. There's really no reason for humans to work anymore.
Yeah.
I'm all for that. I'm all for not working anymore. Whatever has to happen for us not to have to work anymore, I'm on board.
Yeah, I mean, most people probably feel that way, yeah.
Work sucks. That's a lot of the reason that Yang is so popular. I've asked some of those Christians and Trump supporters why they support him. They're like, he's going to give us $1,000 a month. Why not? I don't want to have to work.
The need bucks, yeah.
They just want to sit around and play games all day, which I totally get. Kakodai of Kakad, what a name. Everything is SJW, and you got to point it all out. Yeah, that's Sargon for you. But for real, you still haven't falsified the Christian God. Do I have to falsify the Christian God?
That's a meme from me debating presuppositionalists. Big mistake.
Okay. Yeah, I've done that too.
Big mistake. Fuck that shit.
They wanted me to debate Saitan. You know who that is?
Nope.
He's one of the most popular presuppositional apologists on the internet. I actually already did.
Two that I'm familiar with are Darth Dawkins. Do you know who he is?
Mm-mm.
And then there's some guy called Batman something. Those are like the two big ones that run around Discord. Both of them are fucking insufferable. Wait, Destiny, you debated him on Discord? Wait, I debated who? Oh, I talked to Sai. Oh, I don't remember. He probably said some real dumb, forgettable shit then.
Yeah, he does. I've actually
What happened in that debate? Sorry, go ahead.
I actually confronted him once before when I was out in Florida. They were unveiling a monument, the first atheist monument ever on public grounds, and so we went out there to cover that. And he basically jumped up on a bench and started screaming at people that they're going to be tortured forever if they don't join his cult, which pissed me off. I was literally so mad I was shaking. It was like I was working out back then, and I was kind of a little bit jacked, and I had all my testosterone pumping through me, and I wanted to beat the shit out of him, but I'm like, non-violent. So all I could do was like shake and scream at him. But anyway, it was pretty funny. I made a video about it called Stand Up to Christian Terrorist, which I think everybody should do when those guys get out on the street and threaten you with torture. Stand up to them and don't let them get away with that shit.
Yeah.
And Andrew Bourne said, here's another $10 for the animals. Love both of you guys. Thank you. I love you. And I'm sure Destiny does too.
Maybe. That's a big claim. I don't know.
He don't know you like that yet. Dude, set up Streamlabs. $50 when you do. I got a Streamlabs already. It's streamlabs.com/Dusty Smith. So... And it's linked in all my other videos. Not this one. I didn't link it yet because I was kind of running behind. We had technical difficulties, but like Destiny actually walked me through all this shit, helped me set this up. So thank you, Destiny.
Yeah, no problem.
You got much more experience with this shit than I do. I'm such a fucking noob.
It's all good.
But we're going to work it out. I'm trying to pull your channel back up here. Okay. Oh, yeah. What is the gnomes thing? Somebody asked me to ask you about gnomes.
It's just an ongoing meme in my chat. People link me shit and try to get me to click it, and it's usually some dumb gnome related shit. That's an older meme though. We don't do that much anymore.
It's from 2 months ago. It's not that old.
No. That's like years ago, but people have done it every now and then.
They keep bringing it up.
Yep.
I saw people like to get you to click on things, and then you like ban their IP when they fuck with you like that.
Sometimes depends on what kind of mood I'm in. Yeah.
You do it ultra fast, just and then they're all fucking banned. It's cool.
If I'm
shit.
playing League of Legends and I'm in a bad mood, yeah, I'll ban motherfuckers all day. Yeah.
Is that a fun game? I haven't tried it out yet.
No, don't ever play it. It's horrible. Don't do it.
It's probably an online game. I probably
online multiplayer.
feel too bad about getting killed and shit. That shit's tough, man. You gotta like really put a lot of time to be any good at those games these days. Back in the day, it wasn't so competitive, but now these fucking kids.
Yep, they're fucking good. Thankfully, I haven't gotten to that age yet where I start to feel like the kids are outpacing me, but we'll see.
And you're only 30. You're still a youngin'. You got time. Give it a decade. You'd be like, fuck it, I'm going back to the single-player games. Much less stress. Nobody teabags me. Have you tried out VR yet? You into that?
Not much. No, I haven't, no.
What? You got to try Skyrim in VR. It's a really amazing experience.
Yeah, maybe.
And VR porn. You got to do the VR porn, man. Come on.
Someday I'll look into it, okay? I promise.
It's like they're there with you, except you can't feel it, so...
So they're not there with you.
Yeah, they're not there with you, but it looks like they're there with you, so it's pretty cool. I see that you debated Andy Milonakis, or how do you pronounce his name? Milonakis? I remember him back in the MTV days, long time ago.
Yeah, Andy Milonakis. No, we don't debate, we just hang out.
Is he a cool guy?
Yeah, he's pretty cool, yeah.
Is he an atheist as well?
I have no idea. I don't usually talk to him about like politics.
What do you talk about?
Well, we go out and like drink and hang out and stuff.
Oh, he's a real life friend of yours then.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. I saw you doing some rap, man. You're actually pretty good. I was like really surprised. Like you were getting into it.
God, no, I don't think so. That was a meme with a friend or whatever.
No, you were doing it. What are you talking about? You had the music playing and you had your beanie on and you were fucking killing it. You didn't mess up at all, man. If I was doing that, I'd mess up every other fucking line. You nailed every one of them.
Well,
you clearly practiced that in front of the mirror. Come on. Give yourself some credit.
We wrote it that night and we fucking launched it off.
Really?
We were rap battling.
See, that's what I'm talking about, man. You have a good recall, a good memory.
Thanks.
It's not just practice. It's something you've developed, definitely.
Okay.
All right, back to the super chats. I really appreciate you joining us. I asked people who they wanted me to invite to my show, and the number one person people asked was for Contra. Everybody loves Contra now. She's like the big new it thing on YouTube. Yeah. But like you were the second most popular person, so you're definitely doing something right. I really appreciate your work because like I've tried to make inroads against the shitlords. And YouTube has been so taken over now by the right and the shitlords and the anti-SJWs and the skeptics that it's almost impossible for anybody on the left to make inroads in now. But there's a few of you that have been able to do it. Like I said, you and Sean and Contra.
Yeah.
And
I mean, as long as I don't duck out of debates, if they're willing to do it, yeah, I'll usually show up. My goal is to like the next tier of people I'd like to access would be people like Stefan Molyneux or Steven Crowder. That would be like good. But...
Yeah, Stefan's really picked up on the white nationalism recently. He's gone into overdrive on that shit.
Yeah, he's full on white nationalist now. Yep.
It's like, I'm listening, white nationalist. I'm listening. I went over to Poland and there's no crime in Poland.
Yeah.
Like, bullshit, there's not no crime in Poland. Come on. Somebody said you should talk to and debate the Finnish Bolshevik. Never heard of this person. Don't know him. Scream it yeah says Russia was fake news. Destiny, you were wrong. Loser. Cal Kalinske is the best. Were you in on the whole Russian thing?
I mean, I definitely wanted to see it investigated. I mean, I don't know what they mean by fake news. I mean, the Mueller investigation turned out a fuck ton of indictments, but it seems like Trump or his campaign weren't directly involved with like any conspiracy against the United States. I mean,
it seemed like he did a great job spinning the narrative to make it all about collusion when it wasn't just about collusion. It was about the interference and, you know, who was involved. And
well, the Mueller investigation was mainly about whether, I mean, we say collusion, but it's whether or not Trump and his campaign engaged in conspiracy against the United States, and it seems to the answer to that is that didn't happen. Now the next thing we're probably going to fight over, hopefully Democrats leave the collusion shit alone, although I don't think they will. But the next thing we're probably going to be fighting over is going to be the obstruction of justice. And that's something that I'll be very interested to see how that plays out, because I think there are probably some legitimate things to look at there.
And the campaign finance reform, it seems obvious that he broke those laws. And the emolument clauses, it seems very obvious he broke those too. So I don't see why they don't go back to those.
There's a lot of shit there too that also has to be grappled with. Yeah, for sure.
Owen H says, hey, Dusty, I used to watch your videos bashing Christians like 5 or 6 years ago. After being converted to non-belief as a teen, now I watch Destiny on Twitch. Awesome to see these two worlds collide. Yeah, I know what you're saying. So I used to watch you, Dusty, but now Destiny's better, so I watch him. Fuck you. I hear what you're saying. Cold-blooded. Destiny, thoughts on Joe Rogan?
He's very entertaining, and I think he's like a really cool guy. He'd be like fun to be friends with and hang out with. But he probably irresponsibly platforms a lot of people, and it seems like he changes his political beliefs based on who's on the show, which kind of bothers me. But like he's pretty soft on a lot of the right-leaning people that he platforms. Yeah, I
totally agree. He lets anybody on the show to say anything they want to say, but he doesn't like correctly challenge them. And then when it's pointed out to them, he doesn't correct the record, which I have a big problem with. When you have a huge platform like that, you have huge responsibility to make sure that you don't let information spread that's bullshit. And he really does a bad job at that.
Yeah, and apparently people in my chat are saying he just went on InfoWars. So
yeah, that's one thing I was going to talk about later. Yeah, and most people don't know this, but I used to be a doomsday prepper, and a big part of the reason was because of Alex Jones and Joe Rogan. Both of them, they sold me this idea that the world was going to end any second now, and the whole government was going to collapse. And I'm not blaming them; it was my own stupidity. It was my fault. I take full responsibility for it. But at the same time, it's okay to call out the people that lied to you, because they're shitheads too. I was dumb and ignorant, and I take responsibility, but they were shitheads for lying to me. And Joe Rogan was a big part of that, because I like respected him and liked him and had followed his career. And when he went on Alex Jones, he gave Alex Jones, credit. He gave him street cred. I was thinking, well, Joe Rogan wouldn't support him if he wasn't telling the truth. So I spent over $200,000 on that shit. I wasted a big part of my fortune that I made. I made a bunch of money in online porn. I had some of the first online porn sites back way when the internet first came out 25 years ago. And so, that's what I spent on. Okay. Fucking Alex Jones ruined my life. Fuck you, Alex Jones.
Well, hey, can you not eat or not buy food for 2 years? Don't you have all your non-perishables that you can eat? Or
no, I basically just left everything behind. I bought I wasted so much money. I don't want to go into it, but I wasted so much fucking money. It's just it's stupid. I'm an idiot, but I'm learning. I'm learning slowly but surely. We're getting there. Sure. Unlimited Ambiguity says, Destiny. Oh, here. What are your thoughts on Tim Poole?
Tim Poole seems like one of those enlightened tip centrists, that thinks that if as long as they're on the center on every single issue, it's the most enlightened spot to be, whether it's smart or not smart. Yeah.
To me, he's just like Sargon. He pretends to be a liberal, but if you look at his YouTube channel, it's just like Sargon's. Everything is shitting on the left and giving the right a pass. And he even said that he thinks Alex Jones and InfoWars tells the truth, and it's like a mainstream media source. But how crazy do you have to be to believe that?
Yeah, I mean it is what it is. It's just the radical centrist position. Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody said he uses Project Veritas as source on some of his vids.
Yeah. It's probably not good.
Totally legit. Those things are absolutely not edited to make anybody look bad.
Well, the easiest thing for the Project Veritas stuff is none of that stuff has ever panned out to be true.
Yeah, I know. Total bullshit. My mom likes that guy though. Thinks that guy is a legitimate source for information, and it's sad as fuck. Timothy 619123 says, does Destiny like DNYC? I don't know what that is, but I assume you do.
It stands for D's nuts on your chin.
Oh, okay. I like that. Hell yeah. That's my thing. I like it all over my face.
Okay, if that's your thing, man.
It's not really, but I like to pretend like I'm gay because people love it. I don't know why,
Okay.
but
Sure.
it's my thing. Would you have a discussion with Kyle Kalinske? I don't see why not. You seem like you would talk to anybody.
Yeah, yeah. If you wanted to, yeah, sure. People have wanted me. Sometimes people ask me to talk to certain people, but like I just don't have anything to talk to them about. Like, and Kyle Kalinske is one of those people. Like, I don't know what we would talk about, but yeah, if you wanted to, and I think he's expressed interest in talking to me. We just don't have a topic to go over. I don't think.
Probably agree on more than you disagree on, you know. I
Yeah,
guess.
I would think so. Yeah.
He seems like he's mostly a democratic, social democrat like I am.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. From what I've seen, at least, yeah.
He seems to be getting on everybody's case for falling for the Russian thing, though. I guess that's why they're probably bringing him up, because he's
Yeah, I mean, like the investigation was important and it needed to happen. I don't understand what people. Yeah, I don't know what the narrative is. I guess like some left-leaning people are upset that it ever happened. I would have to dig more into like what people are so mad about. But I mean, like it turned out a fuck ton of credible indictments. Like it was really important that it happened. Like it was a really good thing that it happened. I mean, and it was a really successful investigation, even if Trump in the end, you know, is cleared of at least conspiracy against the United States charges. So yeah, I don't understand why people would be so upset about it.
I think he thinks that it makes Democrats look bad because it gives Trump a really strong talking point to come out and say, "See, I told you, I didn't do anything wrong," and and then conservatives celebrate. And he didn't want to give them that
do
victory.
we feel like we had a really strong talking point when Hillary was cleared of doing wrong in Benghazi, or that Hillary was cleared of doing wrong for the emails? I mean, I mean, conservatives are like the kings of like leading bullshit investigations, right? Like, so I mean, fuck it, dude.
It's different when they do it, though. It's always a double standard.
Yeah.
Don't lie about Poole, Dusty. I'm not lying. I mean, go look at his fucking channel. Like, every fucking video he puts out is shitting on the left and giving the right a pass. I mean, what am I lying about? I actually took screenshots and I put them up in one of the shows last week or the week before. You guys saw it for yourself. Trump has shielded Skull and Bones. That sounds like conspiracy shit to me. Though, maybe. I don't know. Soviet Onion. He turned me into a socialist. Who did? I guess you're talking about Kalinske? Is Kalinske a socialist? I wouldn't think so.
He's maybe talking about me or one of my friends.
Oh,
it turned you.
You're not a socialist.
No, I'm not. But unfortunately, a lot of my fans have fucking moved in that direction. So.
Well, I think the Star Trek Society was sort of like more of a socialist type society. I just don't think that we're there yet. I mean, we could get to that point someday, I guess. But I think, at least for now, there's too much good in the capitalist system. I think meritocracy and giving people more incentive to create and innovate than it would be if we had a socialist system, in my opinion.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
How often do you mow your lawn? What kind of question is that? You gave me $2, so I don't mow my lawn very often at all. I usually hire somebody to do it because I am lazy as fuck. But I don't know I assume you don't mow your lawn either. I don't know why they would ask that.
I live in an apartment right now, so no, I don't.
Oh shit, man! Gotta get you a house.
I lived in a house for a long time, but now I'm in LA, so
You making that sweet, sweet YouTube money?
not enough for a house in this fucking city.
I paid $15,000 for my house, and it's 3,600 square foot. Shit you not. $15,000 for it.
Like Montana?
I live in Mississippi.
Oh, okay.
I live in an all-black neighborhood in Mississippi, and the real estate here is so amazingly cheap. Everybody should move here and buy yourself a house because it's awesome. Like, all my neighbors love me. I love them. Everything's great here. It's a nice town. It's just super fucking cheap because all the white people are fucking pussies, and they ran away because they're scared to live around black people for no fucking reason because they're all racist douchebags. And so their fear is my win.
Okay.
I love Kanye West. I'm not even kidding. People think I'm joking when I say this, but he is my favorite musician. Your thoughts on Kanye?
I mean, I really like his music. I mean, his political stuff is pretty crazy. He seems a little bit like kind of like blows with the wind. I don't know. He probably could use like a good guide there to guide him through some of his political stuff more instead of trying to figure it all out on the fly and then getting roasted as fuck for it. Like he fell into the Candace Owens trap for a little bit, which was probably pretty bad. And
seems like he just does everything to get attention. Like he had an album coming out, and he knew that if he jumped on that bandwagon, he would get attention. But then he got the wrong attention. Made a huge fucking. Of course, the shit he said was really stupid. Like I think you even talked about it. Is slavery a choice? Was slavery a choice? Of course it was.
Yeah, maybe. I don't want to get into this because my fans fucking hate me on this, but like I don't necessarily think it was as bad as. I don't think it was necessarily as bad as people put it out to be, but he's very inarticulate. Yeah.
You think he was mainly talking about what? Not actual slavery, but
I think Kanye West's whole point that he's been talking about for a long time is he feels like it's not just like the material. It's not just like how it's not the things around us. It's like our mind states end up getting fucked. when we live under like certain conditions for so long. So like, for instance, like he talks about consumerism a lot. So he's like, oh, you know, like we become slaves to products and shit. And, you know, when he talks about slavery, I think he was talking more like you don't just become a slave because every single slave owner is constantly pointing a gun at you. Like you become like mentally enslaved as well. And obviously there are two parts to it. Like the actual physical like threat of violence is a big deal as well. But I think he usually focuses more on like mindsets that people get into as well. And I mean, there is some truth there, but he's like horribly inarticulate. And he needs like more people to help him with those conversations, I think.
I agree. I think he was talking about mental slavery. I think it was pretty clear in context if you
Yeah.
listen to what he was saying. He wasn't really saying that slavery back in the olden days was a choice, but
Mhm.
the way he said it was so stupid. What do you expect, you know?
Yeah, and I mean, like he just needs people to help him through some of these conversations because he gets like real dumb sometimes about it. Yeah.
I think his ego is too big to let that happen, though, because he thinks he's such a genius. And he is a musical genius, and sometimes when you're a musical genius or a certain type of genius, you think that applies to everything when it doesn't, you know? A lot of people like that. A lot of people are really super smart, like Notch. Take Notch, for example. You know, genius when it comes to making video games, and, you know, the guy's a multi-billionaire. But when it comes to everything else, it seems, he's a fucking moron. You know Notch, right?
Unfortunately, yeah, that dude is also like flirted really heavily with like white nationalist shit. Like, yeah.
Pizzagate and the
And the
Q
QAnon
conspiracies.
shit
Yeah.
and the IQ shit and yeah.
So I guess you're not a race realist?
No. Whatever the fuck that means.
Whatever the fuck that is. Yeah, I think race is mostly a social construct. That's what the American Anthropological Association says, and they're the experts in that field. So I kind of, you know,
Sure.
bow
And I mean,
to
like
their
races
expertise.
probably describe some underlying like physical realities as well. Like certain people, certain populations can probably be predisposed towards things. Certain populations, you can make some broad statements about them. But the idea that like, you know, like highly polygenetic traits like IQ are, you know, the differences between populations can be explained solely on race is like, that's a pretty extreme claim that we don't really have the evidence for. We may never have it just because it's such an extreme claim. It's so hard to actually like experiment on stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. It just seems like it's better to kind of like leave that by the wayside and let the researchers deal with it for now.
And it seems pretty obvious why they make the claim, too. I mean, it's
Well,
kind of,
yeah,
it's
of
kind of a
course.
useless claim, except for one reason.
That
No.
they believe in like the racial superiority of whites, yeah.
One thing I was going to talk about, people are like, we're not white supremacists because we actually believe Asians are smarter. So if we believe Asians
Yeah,
are
that's
smarter,
like their cop out, yeah.
Yeah, but they don't actually believe Asians are superior because they believe there are a multitude of things that make white people
Yeah, so what
superior,
white
and
people-
intelligence are only one of those things.
Yeah, what white people will say who are race people will go, oh, well, actually, we don't believe that that white people are the master race because we believe that Asians have a higher intellectual IQ. However, white people have more creative IQ and high intellectual IQ. And like, yeah, they always do like real dumb shit like that.
Yeah.
Usually white nationalist arguments are really easy. When you ask like, well, why are you race people? They say, well, because white people have better genes than black people. Okay, what about black people? Like, why can't we just get rid of the bad black people and keep the smart black people? And why can't we also get rid of the dumb, low IQ white people? Like, we can test for IQ. We don't have to use race. We can, as a proxy, we can just test for IQs and deport all the dumb people. And then they'll say, then they always like appeal to some other broad, like dumb things. Like, well, what about like crime? Like, we need to get rid of criminals. Like, okay, well, let's deport criminals. Like, let's deport black criminals and white criminals, and we'll keep them. Like, why can't we do that? Like, why do we have to target the race? You know? The argument, there's a lot of like dishonest like white nationalists that like try to hide behind race realism, but they never like will engage with your arguments honestly. And when you kind of corner them on it, you start to figure out real quick that they're being pretty dumb about it.
I don't know if you're aware of this, but rich black people commit more crimes than poor white people. So
Oh yeah, JonTron said it because of that one bullshit chart that was made off of 2 cities in the United States. Yeah.
people were like, "What's the problem with JonTron? Why do people have a problem with him?" Go watch the Destiny debate or some of the tweets he's put out.
Mm-hmm.
I heard you talking to No Bullshit about it. He was trying to defend him.
Yeah.
Once again,
Yeah.
that whole thing was so fucking hilarious. And you were being so charitable, too. Like, you were trying to stillman him, and you were literally just repeating what he said. And he was like, "You're just trying to do a gotcha. You're trying to pin me down."
Yeah, that's the most frustrating thing for me. Like, I tried like multiple times to like steer him into a better direction. Like when he was like, "Oh, you know, like if 100 million Hispanic people from Mexico immigrated here, that would be bad." I'd be like, "Well, but you think it would be okay if they like assimilated to the culture immediately, right?" Like I was trying to like give him like a more easy out, and then he's like, "Well, you know, yeah, but normally that's if they join the gene pool first." Like he like would bring these things up out of nowhere. I was like, "Dude, like what the fuck?"
And it was like after you owned him so thoroughly, he was like, "Have you ever considered that you don't know what you're talking about?" And I was just like, "Oh my God, dude. Oh
whatever,
God.
dude.
What a lack of self-awareness you have."
Mm-hmm.
Golly gee willikers, guys. So let's talk about social justice warriors. Just so fake. Pretending like I'm a red-pilled alpha. I don't know what did he say? I don't not say certain words just because people don't want me to. I'm not politically correct, but he is. Like, you watch his shit, and he's like the most politically correct person I've ever seen. What is your number one criticism of the left? Oh, that's a good question. Let me think. Got any good answers? Number one criticism of the
I think the
left.
left demonizes people that disagree with them too much. I think you need to be a little bit more receptive. Like rather than saying like this person is racist, you know, like things like, well, this person, you know, might be helping racists get their thought out there more. Like being like gentler with your language probably helps. A lot of people's egos are very fucking fragile. And you can turn people off if you're too aggressive. Like I try to explain some concepts as gently as possible, like, you know, like white privilege and shit, because people get real fucking upset when you start talking about shit like that.
Yeah, I do think the word Nazi is thrown around too much. Like, they call PewDiePie a Nazi, and while I have problems with PewDiePie, he's not a Nazi. I mean, you know.
No, PewDiePie is definitely not a Nazi.
If
You
anything,
know, he
maybe
platforms a lot of dumb shit sometimes, but he's not a Nazi. He's just kind of dumb.
maybe an edgelord at the most, maybe a shitlord, but definitely not a Nazi. And people are like, "You're calling PewDiePie a Nazi?" No, I'm not. I definitely don't think he's a white supremacist. I don't think he's a Nazi. I just think he's kind of a useful idiot sometimes. For Destiny, Bailey GK says, "Who do centrists seem to have this idea? Why do centrists seem to have this idea that politics and society are separate entities? P.S. Love your work and hope to have a conversation one day."
Yeah, so this is kind of like, so there's like, it's really funny, like code talk when you say like, I don't like politics, I don't want to get into politics. Usually what you're saying is like, I'm benefiting from the current status quo and I don't want to talk about it. Whenever somebody says like, this is politics, I don't want to talk politics, usually that's like, generally it's like a white person's way of like saying like, I don't want to deal with this issue because it's not hurting me right now, usually, yeah.
Yeah, if it doesn't affect you, most people don't give a shit about it. That's a lot of things about the racist memes that go around. People don't give a shit because it doesn't affect them. So they're like, it's just jokes, man. It's just jokes. But like when it affects you, it's totally different. Like I got involved in that shit a couple years ago. I said some like really stupid racist stuff. And I thought I claimed I was making jokes. And I thought I was making jokes. But now I understand the real harm that causes when you spread stereotypes and that have been used for, hundreds of years to demonize people. And jokes, man. It's so fucking stupid to do that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I used to be the same way, yeah.
I look back at that and I just think, wow, it's so cringy. But, all you can do is, like, own your fuck-ups and live and learn from it, And as long as you do that, and I think you have to publicly own your fuck-ups. I don't think you can, like, privately do it. If you really want to make a difference, publicly own that shit and explain to people why you're wrong so other people can learn from your mistakes. And then if you do that, then you deserve to be forgiven,
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Any opinion on Joseph Braz, commonly known as Tito? I don't know who that is. Do you?
No clue.
No clue. Long ago, the Americas had a population of brown natives and no whites, so it isn't really that crazy to think about a huge black and brown population as a majority in the Americas with some whites later. Yeah, I don't really care about what color people's skins are. It makes no difference to me whatsoever. I care about their programming. That's the only thing that I find that is an important topic. Destiny, I have a serious question. Are either of you going to play Sekiro? It's a blast. Temple sucks. I don't know what that is. You ever heard of that game, Sekiro?
Yeah, Sekiro, it's a Japanese game that came out a while ago. I'm probably playing it, I think tomorrow I'm scheduled to play it, so.
You play a lot of different games?
Single player games when they come out, yeah.
I can't get into them. Like I have such a short attention span that I have trouble learning something new, so I always stick to the same old games like Fallout 4 and Borderlands 2. I'm so lame now in my old age. I used to be so much cooler back in the day.
It happens.
Yeah. Destiny debate. Finish Bolshevik. He will change you. I've never heard of this person, so. You know who Finnish Bolshevik is? I think I already asked you that. It's the second person to ask me that question.
No clue.
Who is that? You have to send me a link. We don't know who that is. Okay. Well, that's all the questions they have for me now. Go back to your channel. Nobody explodes. They have Nobody Explodes on VR. Can't believe you haven't got into VR yet, man. That's the future of gaming is VR.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I know that like they said the same about 3D movies. I'm just not sure if it's going to be like actually like a big future or just like a gimmick, I guess. I'm not sure.
Oh, I think it will be. It'll just take a while. It's still 10, 15 years off, but I definitely see it becoming the big deal. They have to get the headsets a lot smaller where they're more comfortable, and the resolution has to be much higher than it is, and the field of view has to be much higher than it is. Right now they have what they call friction, which makes it really difficult to quickly jump into games, and so if there's any kind of friction, people just are put off by it and they won't do it. They want to be instantly, you can push a button and get right into the game, and if you have to do anything else to prep for it, it makes it much less enjoyable to do.
Okay.
But definitely,
I'll try it eventually, I guess, when it gets more advanced. Yeah.
They got some new headsets coming out this spring. They're supposed to be a big improvement, but I evangelize about VR all the time because I think it's pretty fucking cool. They have some really cool experiences that I've never been able to experience in any other place except for VR.
Okay.
Let's see. Is tax theft? Obviously, all taxation is theft. This goes without saying.
Wait, do you really think that?
No, I don't really think that
okay.
at all. Obviously, that's incredibly stupid. We live in a society, and the thing is people that came before you, they paid for the society you live in now, and by skipping out on your tax bill, you actually shortchange the people that are coming after you when, you had it paid for you and you had it made, which makes you a giant fucking asshole.
Damn.
I assume you agree with that.
Yeah, generally, I think my argument is generally that like when people come together, they create more value when then they're separate. And so in a society, you need people to come together and kind of buy into the idea or the concept of a society. And if they don't, then they either have to fuck off and totally leave the society, or I mean, they can pay tax to contribute and kind of like build it up with everybody else.
I agree. When we pull our resources together, it helps us all more than if we were just, apart.
Yeah, then doing it separately. Yeah.
In an Ayn Rand system, as you said before. What a bitch she was, huh?
I mean, I was a big Ayn Rand fan in high school, but yeah, yikes.
The most I know about her came from BioShock. That's sad.
Oh, the Ryan, fuck, I don't remember his full name, but yeah, Jack Ryan, Paul Ryan something was supposed to be like emulating that like objectivist
That was an
mentality.
awesome game. Yeah, taught me everything I know about her.
Andrew Ryan, yeah. Yeah,
Learn-
okay. Well.
Education through video games. I also watched one of the debates where you're talking about Sam Harris, and you were talking about the difference between its and alts.
Yeah.
Want to go over that real fast? I know it's a really complex subject, but...
Yeah, if you want to, yeah, go for it.
Okay. Well, I'll try to do it since it's your argument, but I'll try to express it as good as I can.
What do you want? What do you want me to go over exactly?
I was just gonna...
The difference between it isn't an odd, or?
Yeah. You were explaining how Sam Harris likes to make claims that are its, and then they claim they're alts. Things that exist that you can demonstrably prove, and then things that which your behavior you ought to do.
Yeah, basically, the is-odd gap is kind of like this unbridgeable gap between like we make descriptive claims about the world, and then we want to be able to say that like, well, we can concretely say that this moral claim is like correct, right? A normative moral claim is like correct, like we ought to not murder people, we ought to be healthy or whatever. And the problem is like science can never really give us these answers of what we ought to do, but Sam Harris seems to think they can because he has a misunderstanding of the philosophy behind it. Yeah.
Awesome, totally agree. I always like Sam Harris. I think he's given a little bit too much comfort to these race realists lately, and
does he?
I don't know. He said Murray on a few times.
I guess with the Charles Murray stuff, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, it seems like he could push back harder on that, in my opinion. And even getting into that whole topic and giving it a platform, to me, especially if you don't do it, you have to do it perfectly. If you're going to platform that kind of stuff, you have to really be on your game to do it perfectly, in my opinion.
Yeah, and he doesn't seem. Yeah, listening to his conversation with Ezra Klein was pretty embarrassing. He seemed like pretty outmatched there and not willing to engage with what Ezra was saying.
Yeah, I saw his emails he put out about it where he was trying to, like, I guess, do damage control, but it just made him look worse, and it made Ezra look like
damage
he was...
control. I think he thought that he looked good in those emails.
Oh, yeah, you're right, he did. But he didn't.
Yeah, he definitely didn't. Yikes.
It made Ezra seem very reasonable, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I guess that's going to be about it. We've done an hour and 40 minutes. I usually only do 90 minutes, so... I really want to thank you for joining me, Destiny. This has been awesome. I'd love to have you back sometime. And the Gotcha Boys, they want to have you on there. Vadim's a huge fan, and I'm now a big fan. Everybody should go subscribe to Destiny's channel. It's, was it youtube.com, Destiny?
Yeah.
How did you get that? That seems like that would have been taken a long time ago.
I have the Destiny YouTube channel, the Destiny Twitch channel. I have the Destiny Instagram name, so.
He's everywhere. Go support Destiny. He's awesome. Really appreciate having you on, dude. I'm going to let you go and close the show, but... You're brilliant, man. I really love your work, and I thank you. I appreciate what you're doing, and I hope you keep it up.
Cool. Thanks a lot. I love you a lot. Thanks for having me. Have a good
you,
one.
dude. You too. Good night, dude.
Yep. See you later.
Right. So add a close. I think he's still there, but I guess he'll leave himself because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And I'll go ahead and switch this over and close the show. I had a few things I want to talk about before we go. I didn't want to keep Destiny around for that because it's boring. And did not want to bore him with my stupid Twitter shit. So let me pull up some Twitter shit and I'll talk about it real fast and then I'll close out the show. Destiny's a really cool guy. He did not own me. I am so glad. I watched his debates and man, he just fucking owns people and did not want any part of that goddamn embarrassment of being owned by Destiny. So thank you, Destiny, for not pwning me with facts and logic. He gets really mad at some of the people and he's like, you're a fucking idiot. You have an IQ that's like 25. If you were smarter, you would understand what the fuck I'm saying. So, luckily, he didn't say any of that to me. He was actually pretty nice. Although I do still disagree with him about the vegan thing a little bit, but it's all good. Oh, shit. I should ask this question for you. Destiny, for the hundreds or more years of regression of non-whites in the past due to white nations and their citizens deserve to be taxed till the next hundreds of years or more. Do you agree, disagree? Say nothing. I don't think whites should be specifically taxed, in my opinion. Like, I'm not for that. So, I know you didn't ask me, but it's a $20 question. Cheers to you! But to go back to the $20 question, since he gave me $20, I guess I'll take it more seriously. Yeah, like, I don't think I should be... Well, that's a tough question, because on one hand, I don't think I should be punished for things I didn't do. Like, I didn't own any slaves. I'm not the one that oppressed black people for hundreds of years. But at the same time, I'm white, and so I do probably benefit from it. You know, I have white privilege, and, you know, black people have, like, 10 times less wealth than white people due to systematic racism and hundreds of years of oppression. So I'm sure that system has also benefited me. So I guess it's possible I owe back to that system. So that's a really complicated question. I'd have to think about more so I can get it a nuanced answer. Barbara Streisand. Holy shit. You guys hear about this shit? Wow. Okay, like she came out and she said, talking about Michael Jackson, she absolutely believes the allegation abuse of Robson and Safechuck, but puts more blame on the parents than the glove was. She actually said this. His sexual needs were his sexual needs, coming from whatever childhood he has or whatever DNA he has, Streisand told the Times. You can say molested, but those children, as you heard say, grown up Robinson and Safechuck, they were thrilled to be there. They're both married now and both had children, so it didn't kill them. Oh my God, dude. Like, what the fuck? Barbara Streisand, no. So anyway, obviously Barbara Streisand taking a ton of fucking shit for this. Oh yeah, and she also said, I feel bad for the children. I feel bad for him. I blame, I guess, the parents who would allow their children to sleep with him. Why would Michael need these little children dressed like him and in the shoes and dancing in the hats? Oh my God, like seriously, Barbara. So anyway, needless to say, Barbara has been canceled. People are pissed. And Barbara Streisand hasn't been canceled this hard since she starred in Beauty and the Beast. And dude, Barbara looking a lot like Beauty and the Beast. Look at that. Holy shit. This is why I'm just going to grow old gracefully. Not that gracefully. I still dye my hair, but no Botox and I don't do anything else. So, yeah, not going to do it because you don't look good. It looks bad. It looks real bad. So, what else here? Oh, Donald Trump. Let me play this real short clip. Donald Trump has a message for all you Mexicans out there.
If there's a concrete, never, ever give up. Don't give up. Don't allow it to happen. If there's a concrete wall in front of you, go through it, go over it, go around it, but get to the other side of that wall.
There's like a tweet for everything and a video for everything with Donald Trump. Like he says so many stupid things in the past, it all comes back to haunt him. But it's, his supporters, they don't give a shit. I guess I'm going to go ahead and end the show. Maybe I'll keep this other stuff for next Friday. Unless people want me to keep going. What do you guys think? You guys want me to keep going? Let's see how many people are still here on my show. Since I got rid of Destiny, everybody probably left already. Scroll up. We still have, let's see. Move this over here so I can see what the fuck's happening. You bored him, huh? Yeah, he kept yawning. Sorry, I tried to keep him entertained, but I'm not used to having guests either. Like, interviewing people is not my strong suit. Like, he's literally, like, Jacqueline Glenn was the first person I ever had on the show, but she was only on the show for like 5 minutes because we had technical difficulties. So he's like literally the first real guest I've ever had on my show in 10 years. So I'm not really good at doing interviews yet. I did the best I could, so I'll do better with practice. Hopefully I would do better with practice anyway. Reading some of the questions here. You guys aren't really asking anything interesting. Let me do the super chats real quick. Super chats. As always, if you guys want to answer a question, super chats is the best way to get my attention, and I will answer any question that you send me super chat, no matter what it is, no matter how embarrassing. If you want to ask me the most embarrassing question ever, you can ask me in super chat, and I will answer you to the best of my ability. Ariel Fernandez says, Tito was the former dictator of SRV Yugoslavia, who maintained a strong authoritarian leadership and suppressed ethnic nationalism. Cool. Never heard of him. I guess that's cool. Suppressing nationalism and shit. Let's see how many people are still here. How many people are still watching my show? How many people are still here? Scroll up and let me see. Where does it say? God damn it. I don't see where it says anymore. I am bad at this. I am very bad at this. Oh, there it is. What the fuck's happening right now? 466 watching. Alright, I guess I'll go in a few more minutes. I'll go another 15 minutes for you guys. Okay. Get rid of that. Fucking Paul Joseph Watson. He's one of my favorite whipping boys. This dude. God, what a fucking idiot. So, let's see if I can find the other tweet where he says, oh, this is Paul Joseph Watson. Come on, dude. I despise most conspiracy theories. Truly. I think they're really dumb. Oh, my God. Paul Joseph Watson. Come on, dude. You're Paul Joseph Watson. You're like the king of conspiracy theories next to Alex Jones. How can you fucking say this with a straight face? And so people, obviously, as soon as he said this, they're posting his other tweets like, CIA insider warns of Ebola false flag in September. Yeah, that happened, didn't it, Paul? Evidence shows Norway terror attack a false flag. Sure it was, Paul. Sure it was. France planned false flag terror attack in Britain. Yep, definitely happened. I mean, and of course, he got roasted to hell over saying this. Let's see if I can find the other tweet where they roasted the shit out of him. Nope, that's not it. Where is it? Nope, that's not it. Here it is. Let's see, scroll down. Oh, yeah, hidden messages in the new $100 bill. That was a big thing. He actually wrote a book about how the government is trying to put microchips inside your brain. So, yeah. But anyway, people roasted him, posted all kinds of stuff that he said. I can't really find it right now, but that's cool. The most non-self-aware person in the history of mankind, I think, Paul Joseph Watson. And he's like been really heavily spreading the white genocide conspiracy theories lately, which is really fucking dangerous, as we know, but he doesn't give a shit because he's a fucking cunt. And yeah, Kid Rock. Hey, authority, middle finger. Now he's hanging out with Donald Trump. Look at him, fucking bootlicker. At what point do we have to rename this guy Middle-Aged Rock, okay? I mean, I know that's easy for me to say when I'm on a podcast called The Gotcha Boys at 44, so maybe I should shut the fuck up. But Gotcha Boys sounds a lot better than Gotcha Middle-Aged Man, though, to be honest with you. And this was kind of funny. I enjoyed this. I don't know if this guy posted this to make himself look good, but anyway, basically he is trying to return he's trying to not pay for his food. He said he didn't like it, even though he ate the whole thing. And so he pulls out his camera to try to embarrass this waitress, and she ain't having it. It's funny. Go, girl.
But this whole entire plate has been eaten, sir.
So you can't take that off my bill?
No, not unless you would have gotten us at the very beginning and said that you didn't like your meal. I could have replaced it for you.
So I gotta pay for that?
Yeah, you ate the whole entire thing, sir. There's not even like...
So she telling me I got to pay for that?
I mean, let me ask the audience.
Let me ask the audience. She got you there, motherfucker. Audience says, I agree with her. Pay for your shit, dude. Stop being shit. I love her. She fucking ain't having it. Okay. Oh, yeah, this James Alsop guy, he's the guy that I showed in the last CODcast. He made a video where he mentioned me, making fun of how my podcast only got 15,000 views. Actually, look this podcast up. It got like 90 views, his podcast. And he's making fun of my podcast for getting 50,000. Anyway, he's one of these tiki torch motherfuckers from the Unite the Right rally. So I love having people like this hate my guts. Please hate me more. Hate me every day. Because having enemies like you just makes me look fucking good. And yeah, like Destiny was saying, Rogan was on InfoWars. Rogan, come on, dude. And what is he wearing? Why are you wearing sunglasses on your hat, dude? Not a good look, Rogan. Disappointing for Rogan, but I'm going to do a video on Rogan soon. I think the next video I'm going to do, the next regular video anyway, is going to be another Christian bullshit video. And then after that, I'm going to do one about how Joe Rogan let Ted Nugent on his show and lied about vegans and said vegans actually kill more animals than meat eaters, which is so fucking stupid. So I'm going to do a video on that, I think. Oh, yeah, another thing Paul Joseph Watson lied about. Swedish TV is now broadcasting adverts entirely in migrant languages. Dowry, in this case, without Swedish subtitles. What he's doing here is he's trying to make people afraid of immigrants. He's trying to stoke fear and racism, which, as we saw, 50 Muslims were killed like 2 weeks ago because of this great replacement conspiracy theory that they're spreading. Well, partially. I'm sure there's other reasons too, but a big part because of that. And but he doesn't seem to give a shit. He keeps doing it. When the actual truth behind this is, nope, a single Swedish department store chain ran a single ad in which a man reads an instantly recognizable Swedish bedtime story to a child in his native language. You fucking loser. So yeah, he's just fucking lying. It's what he does. But his audience eats it up. That's what they want to hear. They want to be lied to. And like I said, I know this because I used to be one of them. I used to, a long time ago. This was like before I started my channel, like well before 10 years ago. But I used to be a fan of InfoWars, and Paul Joseph Watson has worked for InfoWars for 20 years now. He's literally been doing this shit for 20 fucking years, and it's dangerous. Like, he needs to fucking quit immediately. He needs to be called out for that shit until he does. And the right is starting to get better at comedy, and something. Yeah, the right, they just copy and paste the same shit. They're all fucking cookie cutters. These are the same people that like to call other people NPCs. And they still use the same fucking pictures, these same triggered lefties, triggered SJWs, all the fucking time. Live shot from the CNN newsroom. Paul Watson, CNN right now. Ben Shapiro, CNN NBC right now. You guys are so hilarious and original. You should be so proud of yourself for how funny you are. And this video, if you guys haven't seen it yet, I highly recommend this video. You can see it on my Twitter page. My Twitter page is twitter.com/cultofdusty1. Used to be Cult of Dusty, but thanks to Shoe on Head, her fan base had me permanently banned. So the new Twitter account is Cult of Dusty1. But this video I highly recommend. It's something that I've been trying to explain to people, but I've been doing it poorly because I can't put it into words as well as somebody who writes a whole script down and then does a video with graphics and everything. But it explains what I've been trying to explain fucking perfectly. It's called the PewDiePie Pipeline, how edgy humor leads to violence. And if you guys haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. Like I said, there's a link to it on my Twitter, Cult of Dusty1. And look at this. This is at a right-wing rally they had. And this dude thinks he's a fucking alpha male, and he's basically espousing violence. Listen to this fucking asshole.
My name is Daryl, and I saw your video when you went up north and stood up to that coffee place.
Really?
Yes, I did.
You know what?
And they yelled, "Racists, go home." Well, guess what? They're the racists, and they need to go home if they have homes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. So I am here to stand up to Sharia law, just like the rest of the people here. And I stated some facts. Some people, they were not very happy with that. In World War II, Hitler recruited the Muslims on the Nazi side. Muslims are the fascists here in America. We need to stand up to them, whether we do it physically or with words.
Well, we don't want to resort to physical violence.
Thank
No,
you.
we don't. We want to defend ourselves. Is what I'm trying to say.
We should defend
I
ourselves as much as
apologize.
possible.
I am a fighter.
No, I understand.
Right.
I am a fighter. I am so tough. I am a red-blooded American alpha male. No, dude, you're a pudgy little fuck, okay? And you're espousing violence. You're espousing the exact same shit that killed those 50 Muslims did, dude. It's dangerous as fuck. Anyway, I hope he gets I want to say doxxed, but I hope people know who he is and his employers know who the fuck he is. Dangerous. And Daily Wire articles had the funniest updates, and they do. This Daily Wire is Ben Shapiro's fucking page. GOP elects first Korean American woman to Congress, but you wouldn't know it. Trying to stoke fear and racism, and they had updated. Oh, despite early returns, Kim did not in fact win in CA 39. Yeah, you fucking assholes. And then this one. Media accuses Rep. Steve King of racism. They're lying. Read his actual words. Then update. Okay. White nationalists, white supremacists, Western civilization. How did that language become offensive? In light of those statements, this article gave far too generous an interpretation of King words. Yeah, you told people to read his actual words, and you didn't read his actual words? What the fuck, Ben Shapiro? God, this guy's such a goddamn clown. Oh, and Boogie. Last show, I gave Boogie a shout out, right? I'm like, hey, I'll give credit where credit's due. Boogie had a good idea, good tweet. He talked about how if you just accidentally misgender somebody, nothing should be done to you. Obviously, that's reasonable. If you're doing it on purpose, just like if you called a black coworker the N-word or a gay coworker the F-word, if you're purposely harassing someone, trying to make them have a bad work environment where they don't feel safe or don't feel like, that they're being abused, small fine, perfectly reasonable. And if you're espousing violence on somebody because of their transgender status, lock them up. All totally fucking reasonable, absolutely. But then he said this, and he took shit from the shitlords that follow him, because when you have shitlords that follow you, you do take shit about the most milquetoast of things. And he immediately went back on it, so I can't believe I gave him credit for this shit. He's a fucking pussy. Have a goddamn spine. And also, I made this tweet too, and I kind of made fun of his weight in this tweet, and I shouldn't have done that. I feel bad about that. That's inappropriate. I should be above that. I should just address him on the issues and the fact that he's a spineless coward, but I should not attack his weight. and I feel bad about that. I'm going to try to be better and not do shit like that anymore. But he actually removed the tweet that I gave him a compliment on and completely went back on it. So fuck you, Boogie. This is why people don't respect you. And this was funny. Stefan Milnuts, Maliniaks, or Malinu, or how the fuck you pronounce this asshole's name, he tweeted, "Haha, robber barons is such a basic leftist slander term. Life is short. Please don't waste it repeating pre-programmed cliches." Yeah, don't fucking waste your life quoting pre-programmed cliches. That's bad. But also, Stefan Milnuts, not an argument, not an argument, not an argument. Not an argument, not an argument, not an argument. Not an argument, not an argument, not an argument. And I actually went through, and like I got bored. There were so many. I literally got bored with these. There were so many times he said this, like 1,000 fucking times. Not an argument, not an argument. So what a hypocrite. This is all he does. Not an argument. Repeat pre-programmed cliches. That is your bread and butter, dude. What a fucking hypocrite. Oh yeah, and this guy, the guy I watched the last video of where he was making fun of me because I'm not popular anymore or whatever the fuck. The one where he had the thumbnail of me as Charles Manson. He basically came to my page and he was talking to somebody and he forgot to log out of his fake account and he got totally busted. So look, he posted this. "My video on Dusty was lampooning atheists, blah, 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 blah." And then he came on as this person and said exactly the same thing. "My video on Dusty Smith's lampooning atheists." And then he immediately deleted it when he noticed it. And I asked him, I was like, did you just accidentally post on the wrong account? And he's like, "That ain't me, fam." And I was like, "Then why did you post the exact same thing you did and then immediately delete it? Fucking busted, dude. You know that's your fake account. Don't lie. Own that shit." Oh yeah, and also I got retroactively banned on Facebook for a 4th time. They banned me 4 times in 1 week. Now the last 3 don't count because I'm already banned, and I guess the sentences run concurrently. You know, it's like when you get convicted of a crime. But this time they banned me for this thing I posted 7 years ago. You tell him that you don't believe in the Bible. Oh, let me click on it. You tell him that you don't believe in the Bible. He tries to convince you by reading Bible quotes to you. And I got banned for this over hate speech. How in the fuck is that hate speech? That's not hate speech. That's just a stupid meme, dude. But anyway, I have these hate mobs that go back 10 years. I've been on Facebook 10 years, and they'll go back 10 years, and they false flag everything I've said in 10 years, every comment I've made, every message I've made to people, every picture I put, every post. And eventually, Facebook finds a reason to ban me, and they ban me every fucking time. So that's the reason I get banned all the time. It's very frustrating because basically they cut me off from my Facebook audience, which I have I think 22,000 people on there or something. And they're my most loyal audience. They're the ones that are most likely to support me and most likely to share my videos. And so when they have me banned from this, they're basically starving the beast. And they're making it very difficult for me to do this. So if you're sick of seeing this, folks, please support me. Please go to patreon.com/CODcast or /CultofDusty. And, support this show. If you like seeing it, if you like me doing this, if you want to keep seeing me do this, please help counteract the people that are trying to shut me down by starving me out. And they're having great success with it, and it's very frustrating. Very frustrating. And I was going to talk about, I'm not going to mention this very much, but H Bomber guy, who I actually really like. I think he's a great guy. Like I was talking about LeftTube earlier. There's 4 main LeftTube people that are the intellectual dark web counters. Destiny was one of them. Contra's another. H Bomber guy and Sean Jen, the big 4. They made great inroads into attacking the right-wing anti-SJWs on YouTube. And but apparently he has this add-on. What are my dogs barking about? That's what happens when you run an animal sanctuary. You got lots of dogs barking in the background. Anyway, he has this add-on for Chrome, and it's years old. It's I guess they updated it last in 2017. But basically, it's for people who don't want to see shitlords on their YouTube feeds. So it basically blocks all these shitlords account from the YouTube feeds. So, and I can kind of understand it a little bit. If you watch one Jordan Peterson video or one Ben Shapiro video, your entire thing gets flooded of videos with them, and it can be annoying. So I can understand why you use a tool like this, so you don't have to see that shit if you don't want to. But for some reason, I'm on this fucking thing. I'm here at the bottom. This thing's being covered, so you can't really fucking see it. But yeah, I got me on this thing. So he's got this add-on for Chrome out there that blocks all my videos for the people that download it, which was disappointing. But anyway, he messaged me, and we talked, and he was like, he doesn't run this thing. Somebody else runs it, and he doesn't know why I'm on there, and he doesn't approve of me being on there. And if it were up to him, I would not be on there. So hopefully I'll have him on the show eventually. Those of you who like H Bomber guy, I think I can eventually get him on the show, and we can talk about this, or we can talk about other things. I think he's mostly a nice guy, and I like him, and don't have a problem with him. And I was just disappointed to see myself on this list. And this is what my inbox looks like on Twitter, because I happen to diss PewDiePie a little bit. This is what they do to you. They just spam you with insults. My favorite one is the bottom one. Can you see it? Maybe. Yeah. "You're a fucking retard." Can't even spell "you're" correctly. Yeah, and I'm the fucking retard. But anyway, I'm used to this. This is what happens every day. It's all good. It's not that big of a deal. So anyway, that's it. I think I'm going to be done here. If you like, let me read the super chats real fast before I go. The last of the super chats. Last of the super chats. If I have any. Okay, yeah, there's one. 51% of Americans do $30,000 or less a year. Everyone remember this every time Trump supporter says the economy is doing great. Yeah, we definitely need a fairer system. We end up subsidizing a lot of these countries like Walmart, like not countries, companies like Walmart, who a huge percentage of their employees are on some form of government assistance. So we subsidize them with our tax dollars. We make all these billionaires rich by basically giving them money when they should be giving their employees a living wage. Definitely needs to stop immediately, if not sooner. And Ariel Fernandez says, Park Chung-hee was the dictator of South Korea from the early 1960s up to 1979 when he was assassinated by a director of Korean CIA and a close friend. Well, what a dick. Fuck that guy. Thank you for the history lesson. All right, that's it, folks. If you like my show, please support it. Let me click off this motherfucker. Click off. Which one is it? Boom. There we go. Please support it. Patreon.com/CODcast. Patreon.com/.com. Cult of Dusty. You can send me direct PayPal tips at cultofdusty2@gmail.com. And you can buy t-shirts at cultofdusty.com, which will be awesome. And if you like what I do, if you like my show, leave me a happy comment. Leave me a polite comment saying you like what I do and you want me to keep going. Your encouragement really means a lot to me. I'm still on the fence whether it's worth putting the time into doing this show or just putting the time back into my regular videos. I make a lot more money doing my regular videos than I do this. I don't really make much doing this. And it's not really all about the money. I'm not really saying it's all about the money, but at the same time, like I have to run my animal sanctuary, and so I have to do what's going to be best for my animals and everything here. So, but I'm still going to keep going in this, and I'm not planning on stopping anytime soon. The support has been pretty good. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys, let's see, Friday. I'll be back at Friday at 8 p.m. No guests lined up. I want to see if I can get H-Bomber Guy, but if I don't have any guests, I'll still put on a great show for you, and maybe it'll be even better by myself. Who knows? We'll see what happens. Till next time, I love you guys. As always, Logic. Fuck yes. Later, dudes. Thanks for joining me.